to all this. Everyone's obviously mindful of Dusty's well-being, but at the same time, as Gil said today, they're very mindful, particularly of women's issues, obviously with AFLW and those types of things. It's a very important issue, and I'm sure they'll do a rigorous investigation. It's a poor look, as Gil McLachlan said.
Now, Brownie, there are 8 teams that are not participating in the finals this year, and they move into list management mode. There's some big-name potential moves on the card so far already. Talks of Brad Hill maybe finding a new home, Tom Mitchell as well, potentially looking for a new destination in 2023. What can you tell us on those 2 players?
Well, I'll start with Brad Hill. St Kilda's position to me is they don't want to trade Brad Hill, who's on a contract worth as much as $900,000 a year. Now, I think it's become a bit of an open secret in trade circles that should a club put a deal to St Kilda, they would entertain that. St Kilda's official position, and from some top sources there, they tell me again that they really don't want to trade Brad Hill, but I do get the impression that someone's driving this. It's certainly not his management, Colin Young, but I do believe that Young's spoken to Hill over the last day or so, and I think we'll get better guidance from this over the next few days. But I think if a club, in summary regarding Hill, was to go to St Kilda and put a deal to them, for example, North Melbourne, I think like any play, they'd be duty-bound to look at it. Tom Mitchell's an interesting one. Obviously linked this week, I know Mitch Cleary mentioned, to Collingwood, which I think's really important. Look, the Pies are pretty busy from a list management perspective. Obviously, they're looking at Bobby Hill, McStay playing tonight, a whole host of players, even Taranto. But, geez, if they could squeeze Mitchell in, it'd be pretty handy. He's a good player. I just don't think Mitchell and Hawthorn have always seen eye to eye, particularly this, obviously, modern Hawthorn under Sam Mitchell. That happens from time to time. That's fine. And he's exploring his options.
Tom, have you got any insight into Mitch Robertson and if they lose tonight, his future? Yeah,
there is a word here that I get at the Gabba tonight that Mitch Robertson will retire tonight post-game if the Lions lose. So keep an eye on that post-game. We'll also, I think, importantly, get some guidance on Dustin Martin's future, notwithstanding this issue. I mean, you'd expect him to be at Richmond next year. He's got 2 years to run on a contract worth up to $1.25 or $1.3 million back end of the season. So that'd be massive money to give up if he was to turn his back on football. Having said that, you do hear loosely from sources connected to Dusty that, he struggled at times with footy this year. So perhaps post-match we'll get better guidance on Dusty's future as well. I know Ralph Carr is up here, his manager, watching the game, but that was scheduled. He was here to watch that, notwithstanding these issues this week.
Tom Brown on the boundary line. Tommy, Baz here, mate. They're all talking about it in the back streets and alleyways around town, but you can sniff it out, no doubt. Are the Bombers any close to getting a coach?
Well, the answer, Baz, is no at this stage because for once they're actually doing a process. They were criticised for not running a proper process when they appointed Ben Rutten following John Worsfold, and I know they've got a really rigorous panel and they're looking through it. I reckon they could pick up the phone and give Ross a call, but they're running a process and they haven't contacted many or any candidates as yet. They want to put work into that list first, and look, from a personal standpoint, I hope they contact Ross. I love him, but we'll have to find out in coming weeks.
Has the wording around their coach changed? Because they came out, they were very forthright in saying they wanted an experienced coach. Has that changed to other levels of experience in terms of assistants for long periods of time?
No, I asked Jordan Lewis this exact question during the week at the AFL Finals launch, and he said they need experience, and that was his view, but he'd keep an open mind was his wording. So the question's obvious. I mean, you've obviously got Ross Lyon, Brad Scott, Nathan Buckley in that very experienced category. And I mentioned Brad Scott quite specifically because I think he'd be good. But then you've got that subcategory, guys like Uze and where McRae was discovered from the Tigers. It'd be weird if Essendon went with one of those guys having parted company with Rutten after 2 years, 1 year after making the finals, but we'll find out.
Oh, Tom Brown, been a busy day doing his good work as always down there on the boundary. Enjoy the evening, Brownie. Go well.
Have a great call. It's awesome down here.
Yeah, the vibe is building. The gates are open. The crowds are thumbing in at the moment. Blakey, you never considered going back to coaching after your little stint with the Lions?
No, very happy up here with you, Funners.
Yes.
Been a great journey so far.
Underpaid and overworked is the word. That's what I'm hearing from the Black Camp.
Wasn't in your future, Daisy, at any point?
No, I would have loved to take on some sort of role if I did go down that path of the younger kids, working with them and seeing them progress. But in terms of what you had to deal with, obviously love the game, love talking about it, but very hard to do it day in, day out, repeatedly from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And as I said, overworked and underpaid are a lot of the assistants.
Well, Triple M benefiting from the decision made by both.
100%, but our great man would be brilliant at that if the club's out there.
I feel like you could give some advice on the haircuts too. Bring a bit of fashion back in. Get
Mad Mondays, footy trips. No. I've got all of it covered.
I'm glad he's up here.
That's what I was talking about.
On the other side of this, we are counting you down to the bounce. It's the Lions and the Tigers elimination final. 2022 finals are underway for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks. final footy.
The Triple M footy preview for the all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
When game day rolls around, there's nothing better than that winning feeling, making today the perfect time to play the Monopoly game at Macca's.
And Flanners, this year there's a game-changing $578 million in prizes to be won. Deck yourself out in your team colours with a $10,000 voucher from the Iconic.
Sounds good, Baz. Or cook up a feast for your team with the Barbecues Galore Premium Barbecue Pack. Download the My Macca's app and get in the game today, Baz.
Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Triple M's Flock of 80s finals continue tomorrow. When you get to work, more round one action. From 10 a.m, the Angels. We gotta get out of this place. Up against the might of Richard Marx. Get your vote in for your shot at 4 tickets to the 2022 Toyota AFL Grand Final. GF22/90. It's Triple M's Flock of 80s finals. Meet back here tomorrow at work on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Hello, I'm Professor Michael Kidd. New oral treatments are now available to high-risk people to fight the effects of COVID-19 if you contract the virus. You can take these at home, and they're available for high-risk people, including many older Australians, immunocompromised adults, and First Nations peoples. You need a prescription, so talk to your healthcare professional now to be prepared. For more information and to find out if you're eligible, visit australia.gov.au.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Oh, the Blind Factory!
They say that
Hey Brett, why does radio advertising work so well for the Blind Factory?
I think it's about trust. You know, the station has a lot of trust with the listeners and obviously they're telling on air. And that extends to us as advertisers.
Your ads are pretty hard to miss.
The recall is off the charts.
Luckily the song is too. Discover the unlimited ways to make your brand a household name at commercialradio.com.au. Radio. Unlimited.
When I'm playing footy, nothing else matters.
Every kick.
You're building a pathway for other girls.
Every mark.
A few clubs didn't even allow women to play.
Every triumph.
Women do belong on the big stage.
Means more.
Let's chase greatness.
In Australia's very first Disney Plus original series.
You want answers, sis? You want to have respect? Fine! Let's go, lady!
Fearless, the inside story of the AFLW. Now streaming on Disney Plus.
It feels good to save cash, save cash, save. Get lots of data. Carbon neutral mobile. Get a Belong mobile plan, 20 gigs for $25 per month. For use in Australia, it feels good to belong.
The Red Hot Summer Tour 2023 stars Paul Kelly. I've done all the dumb things. Bernard Fanning. I just want to wish you well. And Missy Higgins. It's an unprecedented lineup of Aussie music icons, including Mark Seymour, Vicar and Linda, Ian Moss and Troy Cassadaly. On the lawns at the magnificent Mornington Racecourse, Saturday, January 14. Get your tickets now from redhotsummertour.com.au.
A ticket to the cricket? How's that? There's nothing like a day at the cricket with Dad. For the first time ever, Australia will host 6 countries in one massive season. Treat Dad to the perfect day out this Father's Day. Search cricket tickets for more information.
Melbourne's Triple M, the home of the Marty Sheargold Show. Live weekday mornings from 6.
Hello, Emma Griffiths at your news briefing. The federal government's highly anticipated Jobs and Skills Summit has wrapped up for the day. Politicians, CEOs, unions and other key players have gathered at Parliament House to discuss a range of issues, including wages, worker shortages and skilled migration. PM Anthony Albanese concedes the summit can't fix every issue, but he's urging everyone to work together to build a stronger economy.
We have not gathered here to dig deeper trenches on the same old battlefields. Our goal, and indeed our responsibility, all of us, is to carry the conversation to the common ground, where the work is done and the progress is made.
Meantime, the federal government has announced an extra 180,000 fee-free spots for TAFE, which will come online next year. Former Sydney schoolteacher Chris Dawson has not applied for bail after being convicted of his wife Lynette's murder in 1982. His lawyer is asking for better protection in prison after he was subjected to a constant threat since his arrival at Silverwater Jail. Dawson's sentencing hearing is set for Friday, November 11. And the Australian Medical Association is calling for the health advice to be released behind the decision to change COVID isolation rules. President Professor Steve Robson says he's puzzled considering the impact of long COVID on the workforce. He wants case numbers to be monitored closely once the change to 5 days kicks in next Friday.
Down to 9 degrees tonight, a few showers tomorrow. 13 is the top, a few showers on Saturday and 14. Cloudy Sunday and 14. And tonight the Lions take on the Tigers live on 105.1 or the listener app as Triple M rocks finals footy.
Campbell Brown here with Andrew Shea, CEO of Builders Academy. What would you say to someone looking to get into the building industry, mate?
Thanks, Brownie. There's never been a better time to enter the building and construction industry. Whether it's starting a Certificate 2 or moving into an apprenticeship in carpentry, we can help those entering the industry or pathwaying towards a Certificate 4 or diploma to become a registered building legend.
Thanks, Andrew. Get in touch with Builders Academy on 1300 Legend.
RTO 21583.
Shut up! The foot is on Triple M!
September,
It gets no better than this.
where every mark is bigger.
Jack Greenwald has taken a hanger.
Every goal is better.
Bailey got around one, 20 metres goal. Scores level.
And every moment means more.
Here comes Dusty. He's shaping up for a fourth goal. No way. He's got none.
Triple M footy brings you every massive moment.
Goes to McCluggage. He's mixed all year. He's kicked this one. The most important goal of his season. Hugh McCluggage, yo beauty.
Bring hot water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks finals footy.
Oh, the Gabba looks absolutely superb. The elimination final not far away, 20 minutes from the bounce. The Tigers are in town to take on the Brisbane Lions. And we welcome for the first time tonight, we welcome our Perth and Brisbane audiences. Joining us, Simon Black. What a star, 3-time best and fairest, Brownlow medalist, Norm Smith medalist. He's done it all, Blackie. He wins the pub raffles as well, don't worry about that. We've got Daisy Thomas here tonight as well, All-Australian, Collingwood Premiership star. Liam Flanagan and Baz calling the action tonight. It's not far away, boys. Both sides out on the ground and both as selected, which is good news.
Absolutely. What a great atmosphere we've got here tonight, boys. It's absolutely pumping. I tell you what, Richmond fans, they travel, don't they? There's so many Richmond black and white Guernseys out there coming in. I think it's probably 50-50 days at the moment, but what an atmosphere we've got. And two great sides. Richmond in great form coming in, as they so regularly have the last 4 or 5 years into the final series. Didn't make the finals last year, Baz, but here they are back again in Brisbane after that demoralising loss against Melbourne 2 Fridays ago. How do they respond as they come back out into the ground?
It's going to be interesting, and that's a great unknown. I think back to our time, and I think it was 2011 we played Geelong in the last game of the season. Nearon got beaten by 100 odd, so you can sort of put the cue in the rack. Obviously, there was a bit to play for the Brisbane Lions in that game against the D's, the potential of top 4, but you can move on pretty quickly. And the weekend off for them would have been just a really nice chance to go, right, there's the final line on our season. Let's now move into finals mode. Let's pick our best parts of what we've done throughout the season, because their best has been bloody brilliant, Baz. And all bar those 2 games against the D's, the rest of it's been super competitive. I think the next biggest loss they had after those 2 Melbourne games is Fremantle at around 14 points. So they've been in absolutely everything, albeit we've sort of questioned how they have been going. And I think that is on the back of what they bring defensively at times, because they can get scored against quite heavily in patches.
Absolutely, Days. They're conceding 90 points since round 15, so their defensive part of the game, no doubt, has dropped away somewhat. And look, through the middle of the ground for mine, but that's where Brisbane really need to put the pressure on. We know that Richmond, when they're up and about, as they are, their ability to score and go forward from turnover, they're so penetrating. They're at number 2 in the competition for scores from turnover the last 6 weeks, so they've really turned that part of their game around. And for Brisbane, yep, they've been a high-scoring team themselves, but the defensive side is what, as we know, they win world titles in sport, don't they? The great defensive teams tend to win it in all sports. So for Brisbane, that's a real area that need to find some improvement that starts tonight.
And the scores in bunches, as that's sort of been the concern. And when you go back through it, they gave up 81 points in a half against the D's, 35 points in 20 minutes against the Saints, 49 points in 29 minutes against the Blues up here when they mounted a late comeback, and 55 points in 45 minutes. So no doubt there'll be questions in their own minds, no matter how big the lead is, that they're always going to give you a sniff, and there always is going to be a time when the opposition have their dominance, because the game never goes for the full 4 quarters on your terms. It's just limiting those patches when the opposition have the momentum, just not conceding such big numbers in short periods of time.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be fascinating around the middle of the ball, middle of the ground. The contested ball and clearance battle. The Tigers don't regularly win that stat, do they? But they are so good at from turnover, from transition. They move the ball so far. So, yeah, for Brisbane again, their ability to be able to be strong on that part of the ground, get the ball forward. They've got such a potent forward line. They've got some fantastic smalls, as we know, and they've got some talls who. Gee whiz, you need a big night from Joe Danaher, don't you? Obviously, Hipwood or Danaher tonight. You need a
cut loose.
Big output, Baz. Big output. This time last year, Danaher had the opportunity against the Bulldogs, wasn't able to stand up. Tonight's a big opportunity for him.
It certainly is. A lot of stories in amongst the story. We'll get to those, but we've got a Triple M Finals debutant joining us tonight on the Triple M Reds Atlantic Stats. He's had a massive year. Got the tap on the shoulder and said, well done. It's finals bound for you. And it's wonderful to have Ethan Meldrum here tonight at the Gabba. G'day, Ethan.
Oh, g'day to you, Baz. G'day, guys. Thanks for having me. Brisbane will start with what they're doing well, and Blackie sort of called it their offensive numbers, second in the league for points scored. A lot of it comes down to clearance. They're 10-1 this season when they win more clearances than the opposition. Second in the league for scores from stoppages, centre bounces as well. First in the league for transition as well, defensive 50 to inside 50. That's where they've been really good this year. Lockie Neal, big part of that. 3 full-length games as a line against Richmond. 31 disposals, 37 disposals, and a career-high 51 disposals back in 2019. Does like playing the Tigers. But their finals record and their record here at the Gabba, we talked about it earlier. Last 4 years, 2019, 2022, 37-8 all up at the Gabba. They're 36-4 in home and away, 1-4 in finals. So 4 losses apiece between home and away and finals is a record they'll want to fix tonight, the Lions. Richmond, just look at their last 4 games, 4 wins in a row, 120 points per game. That includes 104 against the Lions back in round 20. 32% of their inside 50s resulted in goals. Clear number 1 in the comp. Noah Cumberland's kicked 12 goals in that time. Shea Bolton, 21 shots on goal in that time. They're both third in the competition. And Tom Lynch, in the last month, 21 goals, clear number 1, 17 disposals, 5 contested marks per game, 5 marks inside 50 per game. Ooh. Both outright number 1 in the competition, number 1 rated player in the competition by a long way over that stretch.
Beautiful, Heath. That's
how you start a day,
That's what you get.
Now, that's the equivalent, Baz, of walking out in your first 5 minutes before you rotate. You've touched it 7 times and you kicked 2 and you've kicked an absolute ripper from the boundary.
He picked himself.
Really crisp from you, mate.
Mullen Pickett-esque.
That is nice.
He picked himself to be here tonight. This is the Triple M footy preview for TaylorMade Golf, the all-new stealth driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. I can tell you from personal experience, and I know you too, Days, it does exactly that.
It does what it says on the can, Baz. Good people down there at TaylorMade.
They certainly are. As I said, there's some always stories in amongst the story, isn't there? And I'll start with Shai Bolton because he's a ripping story. He's offered us that much excitement in the footy world. He's got a finals chance here tonight to again just expand on what a ripping player he is.
It's going to be brilliant to watch how he goes about it because he can damage you with only 10 possessions, but the beauty and the evolution of him as a player, Blackie, has been that he's gone from 10 to 20 and now he's having 25, 30s, but having 6, 7, 8 shots on goal in a game, and the goal kicking accuracy is the thing I'm sure he'd love to sort of clean up a little bit, but he's had the opportunity to have some massive numbers, and you feel at some stage throughout his career it will just click and a big stage might just be it, and you could see him having 30 and kicking 5+.
Absolutely, and also what impresses me about him is his creativity with ball in hands, his vision and his composure to set his teammates up is absolutely first class. So he's in the conversation as one of the very best players in the competition this year. So here's an enormous task for this Brisbane defence. Brandon Starcevic may be the one that goes to him. They may have Dusty and Bolton up there at times. How they manage that is going to be an issue. The Harris Andrews match up tonight. There's been a lot of talk, I guess, about the Zorko incident and who's going to be the next captain of the Lions in time. And Harris Andrews has sort of had some issues with his body and his own form in times. It's been around the club. It's been Harris Andrews and Jared Berry, the two that were spoken about for the next future captains of the Lions. But Harris Andrews has got a big task tonight. He'll probably have the Tom Lynch matchup. We know Lynch is in great form. Big night for Harris Andrews.
I'll tell you what, if you're listening, it's intimidating in here because I'm sitting next to Simon Black, Daisy Thomas, Liam Flanagan. You've heard Ethan Meldrum, and we talk about people dominating in their role down on the boundary line tonight. Belinda Mellon has done that here at the Gabba for many, many years for Bob Jane T-Marts. Bob Jane T-Marts look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au. Simply one of the best people I've ever met in my life. Belinda Mellon, welcome back to Finals Footy.
Oh, thanks, Baz. I don't like that you're making me sound old, but anyway, I'll move on because we all love you. You know that. It is amazing down here. Absolutely electric. As you said, I've done many games at the Gabba, but the atmosphere here, both assistant coaches, you know, normally you interview the assistant coaches, they're a little bit tense. They were both absolutely beaming. They were just radiant and so excited for finals footy to start. 18 degrees on the boundary, of course it is. It's 12 and raining in Melbourne, so I tell you what, we love it at the Gabba. But as per usual, a little bit of dew out on the ground. I went and touched the grass, and you can already see the droplets forming. And as the temperature drops, it is a bit humid, and it will get a bit slippery. A bit of a wet ball game around here. We have the Medi subs in, and for the Tigers, no surprise, Shane Edwards. And for the Lions, Cal Archie, he has only just been cleared of those concussion symptoms, so he's only just back and able to play this week after that encounter with Patrick Cripps. For the Lions on the bench, we have McCarthy, Pryor, Matheson and Wilmot, the debutant. And for the Tigers, Baker, Cumberland, Miller and Pickett. It's going to be an absolute cracker, boys. I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah, it is, B. Thank you very much for that. And just before we go to the Welcome to Country and, of course, the national anthem to kick us off here tonight, Seabus Super. The weekend predictions, boys. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Let's go to the other games before we get your prediction on this one after the ceremony. Melbourne and Sydney tomorrow night at the MCG. What a cracker qualifying final.
Yeah, I'm going to, no real surprise, I'm going to go with the favourites there in the Ds. I think their late season form has set them up to have another massive finals campaign.
Yeah, I'm on the Ds too.
Flanners?
Yeah, I'll tip an upset, go the Swans, just to be difficult.
The Cats versus the Pies. I'll tell you what, there'll be close to 90,000 at the MCG on Saturday afternoon.
I'm going with the Pies, Baz. No real surprises there. Youthful exuberance over the old boys' heads.
Yeah, I'm with the Cats. Best team all year.
Cats.
All right, Flanner says Cats. That's good enough for me. Freo and the Bulldogs on Saturday night, Optus Stadium. Who's going to win, Dave?
Freo, even though it's going to be wet, makes me nervous, but I think Freo.
I'm on the Dogs.
Simon's on the Dogs.
The loss of Liberatore home ground for the Dockers, Freo.
All right, footy's the winner as far as I'm concerned. In all of those games, we'll get the boys' predictions on this one very, very shortly. Both sides have lined up across from each other, 30 metres apart, as traditionally is the case for finals football. The Tigers are arm in arm across the shoulders, and the Brisbane Lions are pretty much the same across the ground. We're expecting a fairly physical game tonight, you would think, Simon, as well. A real tough final.
Oh, absolutely. And there's been obviously a lot of talk about the Danes Orco issue the last 2 weeks.
And they've got history, these two clubs, haven't they?
They really have. And, Brisbane were able to beat Richmond. They haven't beaten Richmond much in the last 15 to 17 attempts. But I know they take great pride in that a couple of years ago. But it's a couple of years ago, Baz. Lions need to find some big form tonight on the back of their game against Melbourne.
Simon Black, Dale Thomas, Liam Flanagan, Baz and Belinda Mellon on the boundary line. From Channel 7, the MC, Ben Davis.
The Brisbane Lions and the Richmond Tigers. Now, the AFL acknowledges the Yagara and Turrbal people, the traditional owners of the land in which we meet tonight, and we pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Now, the AFL acknowledges playing this great game on this land. They respect the cultures of all First Peoples, their contribution to our nation and their contribution to Aussie rules football. Can I get you all to please turn your attentions to the big screen for the Welcome to Country.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shannon Ruska. I am the Managing Director of Tribal Experiences, and we are the Yagara Turrbal Aboriginal Dancers of Brisbane City. We'd like to welcome you here to our country, to the place which we call Wollongabba, which means the whirling water holes are also fighting talk. It's where the teams will come to battle the final series. As they take the finals, we welcome you to our land. We welcome you to the Gabba. No!
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can I ask you to please rise, join with the coaches, the players and the umpires for the Australian National Anthem to be sung by Trent Bell.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden souls and wealth that's all. Our home is goodbye seas. Our land abounds in nature's gifts. Our beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia
Oh, Trent Bell, beautiful work as both sides break up. The finals are here. What fantastic news. And packed houses in every stadium. And what a feeling it's going to be throughout September. Richmond and Brisbane to open us up here tonight in an elimination final at the Gabba. The Lions, well, they hunted top 4 all year, didn't quite make it, and the Tigers just hunted a top 8 chance. The dynasty not quite done with yet. Plenty to talk about, the predictions from the experts now. And let's go back to Simon Black and Daisy Thomas.
It's going to be fascinating, Baz. Very much excited for this one. Like you were touching on one of the key matchups, that being Harris Andrews and Tom Lynch. And the notes I took there were physical and proactive, and just how he balances that out. We know Harris Andrews loves to come across and intercept, but Tom Lynch is the type of player that you can't give him that full extended ski rope, or he'll just call it in long, out-body you. And when the Tigers, the way they move the ball, he is too big, too strong.
Yeah, he is, and also without Marcus Adams there tonight, Harris Andrews has relied a lot on Marcus coming across third in, intercept marking or punching that footy. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Harris goes and handles that particular matchup. Obviously, Rewelt around Lynch as well. That matchup will be Darcy Gardner. Fascinating. Marcus Adams is a massive loss for the Brisbane defence.
I'm very much excited about watching up the other end and seeing how Big Joe Danaher goes about it as well, because I think I'm going to be tipping the Lions for what it's worth tonight. And for that to happen, the way I see it playing out, he can absolutely take this game away from the Tigs. He can have a massive night, kick himself a handful or more. He's the real barometer for me. And if they can find enough footy in his direction, I think he can really stretch that Tigers defence.
Yeah, absolutely, Days. And they can find multiple goal users up. Brisbane's got such an attacking forward six. They're smalls and they're bigs, whether it's Hipwood or McStay, but they do need someone, obviously, tonight to stand up. McCarthy and Cameron as their smalls, they're so potent as well. As we see both sides taking their positions here, we're going to have a cracker. Two of the best attacking sides in the competition.
This is the Triple M footy preview for TaylorMade Golf. We're getting to the end of this one. The all-new Stealth driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. The players making their way out to their positions. The Tigers kicking to the right of your radio dial, and the king of the jungle, Dustin Martin, number 4, heading to the deep goal square. Barry Denner is going to get us underway for this one. The elimination final, the Lions taking on the Tigers at the Gabba.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks finals footy. The umpire steps up, goes slam into the deck, and we're underway in the 2022 final series. Big tap down by McInerney to ground level. Berry tracks it for the Lions. Tackle snuck out a hand pass. Starcevic, Robinson there on the outer side wing as well. Coleman had it, lost it. Morris Rioli tries to barge through Coleman, dragged down in a gang tackle forward of the wing outer side of the ground. The umpire to ball it up again.
Great contest first up. Kadeem Coleman was instrumental for the first half against these two sides a month ago. Richmond will learn a lot about him that night.
First clearance coming up for Lachie Neale. He loves playing against the Tigers, as our man Ethan told us. There's a free kick. Downfield, Charlie Cameron. Important that he gets his hands on the footy early for the Lions. He's centre wing out of side of the Gabba, long down the line. Wanted McInerney. Ross got in the way for the Tigers.
Marks at half back. Called the play on and does that. Kicks across the wing, outer side of the ground. Big leap, there's no mark. Off hands, it's kicked off the ground by Revolt. He kicked it out of mid-air, in fact. It went out of bounds on the full. Resulting free kick will go to Cameron or Rich. They're both headed to the boundary line. It's going to go back to Daniel Rich. So just outside the back pocket, about 30 metres from the goal he's defending. Plays on. Onto the left boot, sort of a flat spiral ball that goes to the wing outer side of the ground. Vlosten at the fall of the ball, snuck out a hand pass off the Broad, kicks across his body, back to half forward for Richmond. Cameron there again, his kick smothered out of bounds. And another boundary throw in 55 around from goal.
Just having a look at those matchups we were talking about. So Tarrant's got the early roll on Danaher, and Andrews, as expected, has gone to Tom Lynch at the full forward position.
Triple M Seabus Super special comment. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Daisy Thomas, Simon Black looking after those this evening. First final as Sonzi keeps it in for the Tigers. Inside forward 50 now. Cochin back with the flight against Starcevic. Payne came through the Lions defender. Long kick down the line. Danaher and Broad takes the easy chest mark out in front.
And that's happened twice. 2 intercept marks for Richmond. Brisbane's key forwards need to compete in the air.
So Broad steps back with a footy. Low drop punt about 30 metres on. No mark taken, fall the ball. Opportunity for the Tigers. Little ball comes inboard. Cochin. He's going to mark 45 out. He plays on, didn't want to go for goal. McIntosh presented, but in front of him, Daniel Rioli, his teammate, has taken the mark 48 metres out slight angle.
And we see on the other side of the ground there, guys, a big contest. Looks like Oscar McInerney down in the hands of trainers. He's looks like probably a bit of a head knock, so he's in a pretty bad way right now.
Yeah, he's in a world of pain. Harvey Norman replay, there it is, Simon.
Seconds. Yeah, there's an initial one before that as well. Shea Bolton was down for a long time. Looked like a poke in the eye, and the McInerney one got a head to the front of his head, the back of a head to the front of the head, claret everywhere.
Daniel Rioli walks in with a footy. He'll drop it onto his boot, 50 metres out, slight ankle, goes for home. It's a beautiful drop punt. It is a beautiful kick. Rioli gets the first goal of the match. 1 goal to the Tigers. The Lions are yet to score on the Triple M Pepper Jack Wine scoreboard. Let's go down to the boundary line. Bob Jane, T-March B.
Fair bit of concern around Oscar McInerney, boys. The doctor and physio ran straight out to him and they rolled him onto his side. He cannot get up. Blood all over his nose. I'm fairly sure that his nose would be actually smashed to smithereens. That head went straight back into his face. They're picking him up to his feet now, and I can see there is blood coming from his nose. Both doctors and a physio helping him off the ground. I'll keep you posted as to what they do with him, but he does not look in a good way right now. That is a very, very big out. As you'd remember, they played Darcy Ford as a medi-sub for a long time because Chris Fagan said that they could not afford to lose Oscar McInerney. So Darcy Ford was their medi-sub, and it's a great way to start the game for them, that's for sure.
Well, he's been one of Brisbane's most important players. Such a great deliverer down of his Rovers the last year. He's been superb and so durable as well. Unlucky.
Forces Joe Danaher into the ruck for the Lions. We'll keep you posted on the status of Oscar McInerney as the Tigers take it away from the bounce again. It's Rewalt and Payne and Short there involved as well. Boundary thrown right half forward for the Tigers. Serious concerns for the Lions. Oscar McInerney looks like his evening could be done early.
And we see straight away, Danaher goes in the ruck, Nankervis electing to take clean possession and just giving out a handball, so far too easy on that occasion.
Well, this is a huge reset for Brisbane if that's the case. He does not look good. Holding free kick at half-back will go to Starcevic for the Lions. He's on the broadcast side. He's got Hipwood about 40 metres on across the wing. Joe Danaher's been tracked by Tarrant. It'll be Tarrant, the former Kangaroo, in his first final for the Tigers. Kick across the wing. Hipwood had hands on the footy. Down to ground level. Berry swooped on it. Hand pass McCluggage. 65 from home. Low drop punt to the hot spot, but he's missed the target and dropping back and taking a comfortable mark as Broad again has been prominent in these first 5 minutes for the Tigers.
Tigers take it away quickly on the outer side. This is what they do. They move it fast. They move it furious. Short, wide. Lovely kick. Spots up the target outer side. Sonsi with the football. The run continues. Rioli never stopped moving. He's already got 1 goal inside forward 50. Finds the family. Rioli takes the mark. That's Morris. He'll go back and have a set shot in the blink of an eye. The Tigers from a defence into attack.
And that's the concerns already for the Brisbane Lions. Those intercept marks, they had a really good look coming through the forward half of the ground, had space out the back, but the kick to Charlie Cameron, not to his advantage. The Tigs look really organised in defence. The Lions need to get a contest ball to the ball. Just bring that ball to ground and allow your forwards to come in and apply some sort of pressure.
Daniel Rioli started red hot for his side.
Hasn't he? The Riolis have got something of a September reputation. Daniel's got one. Can Morris nail it? No, he's hit the post. Minor score Tigers 1-1-7. The Tigers with a 7-point lead over the Brisbane Lions. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard.
So the ball's moved quickly on. Straight to half back. So Brisbane under pressure early. And with McInerney on the bench and looks in trouble. Starcevic on the wing. Plays on, got pushed on the kick and it bounces towards half forward for Brisbane. Rolls out of bounds. And the umpire says to throw it back into play. 51 metres around from their goal. 1-1-7 the Tigers. Lions yet to score. Bob Jane T-Marts beat.
Brisbane Lions have played their Medi sub. Callum Archie is out on the ground, boys. Doctors furiously trying to fix that nose of big Oscar McInerney.
So McInerney out of the game. Archie, nice work, B, for Bob Jane T-Marts, but it does mean a ruck reshuffle for the Lions as Lockie Neal wins it down, gives it back to Berry. Inside forward 50 now, top of the square. Danaher the target, sticks 2 fists up, can't get it, fisted over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in next to the right point post for the Lions. They're yet to score.
And it is a big reshuffle for the Brisbane midfield. Oscar McInerney has provided so much great feed to his on-ballers in the all season. One of the best hit-outs to advantage ruckman in the competition. So how the Brisbane midfield now adjust to the him not being there.
A real battle now for the Lions as Prestia worked hard in the bottom of that pack. Punched out towards Baker for the Tigers at hard back. Tarrant hand pass over the top to Ross, missed him. Sonsi, his teammate, gets in the way. Real looping hand pass to Vlosten. Allowed Archie to put the pressure on. Spills to Berry at half forward for the Lions. Nice pass. McCluggage, 40 out directly in front. Can go back and have a set shot.
Yeah, good movement from Brisbane. And McCluggage done a couple of nice things already, and McCluggage, this is a big moment for him. His history of his career so far been a beautiful set shot, running shot on goal, but his set shots have let him down time and again. So this is a big moment right here.
So he drops the footy on the ground. The Tigers 7 points in front. They're 1-1-7 for Brisbane's first score of the match. McCluggage, nice, very nice off the boot. 3-quarter post high drop punt. And the Lions fans rise as one at the Gabba. One straight goal Brisbane. Tigers 1-1-7. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard. And crack open a wine with a character to match. Pepperjack, when character counts. And then, of course, you've got to be 18 and only and plus to drink it. And drink responsibly.
Absolutely nailed that, Maz. Good people down there at Pepperjack. Well done, the Brisbane Lions, on that occasion. Their ability to have that front-on pressure. There was a forward 50 stoppage. It looked like they ran a few routes there, the Brisbane forwards. Richmond got them out and looked like they had clean air, but the ability of them to pressure in the face is the reason they got the turnover, put some serious heat on Sonsi. He just hacked a ball over his head, which is not what you want to do early on in a final. Brisbane good enough to sweat on that, get a really nice look and a nice finish, a good confidence booster for that man McCluggage.
Triple M Red Z lending stats. I've got to go to our man Ethan Meldrum. Ethan, has anybody played less time in a milestone 100th game than Oscar McInerney?
I'm going to take a very educated guess and say no. 3 minutes 33 on the ground for Oscar McInerney. Not a good way to start.
Not how he would have envisaged his milestone game, and not how Jack Payne envisaged that kick going. He's put it out of bounds on the full. Camden McIntosh now for the Tigers. He's still 2 kicks from home. Lions time to set up, but he's going to drop it straight on the head of Tom Lynch, and Rewalt's there too. Payne makes amends, fists it, kept it in. Bailey sends it down the line near side of the Gabba. Matheson must compete against Broad, did really well. Here's Big Joe in a foot race against Robbie Tarrant. He should win that one, keeps it rolling forward. Now it's on Hipwood, the ungainly big fella. Hands and knees, Joe didn't stop running. Floston took it out of bounds. Not deliberate, boundary throw in left half forward for the Lions.
Really well done by Reece Matheson there. Had 2 to beat. He just caused the contest. That's all you got to do. That's all we've asked so far. Broad was in the prime position to take another intercept mark. He busted a gut. Got a hand in there. Great play.
Triple M Super special comments. Great Daisy Thomas with Simon Black. No 2 better finals performers in the business here tonight as Prestia at halfback claims it for Richmond. Kicks to a 1-on-2 against Richmond with Lynch, but he got rid of the pack. Then tracked the footy behind him. Slapped it to Bolton. That was brilliant. He's taken a bounce run to 50. He's got Rioli inside and got him. That's 25 out. Hand pass to Dusty Martin in the square. Dusty kicks a goal. Dusty's back. Brilliant work from Richmond. That was sensational footy. 2-1-13 the Tigers. The Lions are one straight goal, 10.5 first term, and the Triple M Pepper Jack wine scoreboard.
Oh, brilliant play, brilliant called, Baz. Just love the way on the wing here. Tom Lynch just knocked the ball forward, Days. Didn't worry about taking possession, getting a stat. He tapped it out in front of Shea Bolton. And again, we spoke about pre-game, just how classy, what a smooth decision maker Shea Bolton was. It was, and he saw Rioli there just in front of him about 20 metres away, popped it over the top, and what a great opportunity to get the champion involved, Dusty Martin. Great to get him back, and what a start for him.
And we see on the Harvey Norman replay, Dusty playing as that deepest forward, so his opponent then came up to apply the pressure on Shea Bolton. He just wandered back to goal, absolutely unopposed. It's exactly what we expected him to do, not spending too many petrol tickets early.
Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water Triple M Rocks Footy Elimination Final. Thursday night at the Gabba. The Lions look to answer back. Streaming through the middle, McStay, the new makeshift ruckman with McInerney out of the game. A ripping tackle laid by the Tigers. Rioli not given a free kick. We're going to have a ball up centre forward for the Lions.
Thrown in the airs, about 12 underneath. They're trying to work it out. Cochin at the bottom of the pack. Swooping on it, did well was Neil. Little hand pass off towards Archie. Flying shot from 45. Has gone through for a behind. The Lions go to 1-1-7. 2-1-13 the Tigers. Triple M Pepper Jack wine scoreboard. And we tick up towards the 12-minute mark of the first term.
Don't forget, you can score a 1 in 4 chance to win with Monopoly game at Macca's. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au. Tigers just looking to bring it back in. They lead it by 6 points. Floston comes near side, down the line. Rewalt, big fly, yet to touch the footy, although he did have a mid-air kick early in the game. Hands now. Long down the line, short. It's an up and down kick. Rich lost sight of it. Cochin did as well. In the middle now, Sonzi had a bit of it. Sends it forward to Cumberland. This late season emerging young player for the Tigers. Puts it wide. Pickett won't get to it in time. We'll have a boundary throw in right where the 50-metre arc intercepts with the boundary. Ethan, Red Zed learning stats.
Lockie Neal already having another good start. 4 disposals, 3 clearances already for the Lions. He's their number 1 ranked player on the ground.
He'll relish reading the ball off of Richmond ruckman. I think he's so clever. He can adapt so well. He's obviously started very well here again.
Red Zed lending loans for the self-employed. There's Neil again at the bottom of that pack at half-back. Hand pass Starcevic. He's put it out in the full. He's filthy with himself. Just threw it onto the boot. Was high and wide. And Ross will bring it in for the Tigers. Little chipping ball to Tarrant. Just forward of the wing broadcast side, and he marks. Tigers up by 6 points. Exciting start to the elimination final here at the Gabba. Oscar McInerney subbed out of the game already. A busted snoz early in the contest. Spills to ground level. McCluggage in the back pocket. Threw it onto his left boot. An outside defensive 50. Big Joe Danaher takes the mark.
Never in a hurry is Joe. Gives it to Pryor. Wanders down the near side. Down the line now. Hipwood has to do some work. Floss in good position. Read that easy. Intercept mark. Wants the corridor now for the Tigers. Cochin is on. The kick didn't hit him though. Turnover. First touch of the footy for the first game of Wilmot. Lovely kick. Finds the target, centre half forward. McStay turns and burns. Long, deep kick. Archie! Paid the mark. Free kick. Take your pick. Archie, the Medi sub, will go back and kick at the line second.
Yeah, clever kick, wasn't it, Dave? Long penetrating kick over the top, and it was always going to be a free kick to Archie. The Richmond defender going back, taking body. That free kick gets given so easy without much contact. That really nice situation awareness, I guess, from McStay to identify there was a deep option on. Got it there quickly.
Cal Archie was the victim of that heavy Patrick Cripps bump here 3-4 weeks ago. A chance to stamp his name in this one. He's missed it. They're going to have to take their opportunities tonight. The Lions 1-2-8, the margin 5 points, 2-1-13 the Tigers on the Triple M Pepper Jack wine scoreboard.
So Vloston to bring it back in for Richmond. 5 points their lead. Runs outside the square, looks to the broadcast side. It's a little short ball. And consequently, short does mark at half back. So he turns and goes back to Vloston, who runs past him. Little 15-metre ball. Marks and plays on the boundary line. Hits the ground and hits the ball hard, high towards the wing. No mark taken, dropped. Ground level ball by Pickett. Spills towards Lynch, close to the boundary line. Good work from Harris Andrews to hustle him out of bounds. In fact, Andrews is going to get the free kick. What was that for, Blackie?
Well, holding the ball. Tom Lynch did not have it for long, but the umpire red hot on that one.
Andrews wanders back into the field of play, called to play on. Long down the line. fighting for front spot was Hipwood. Brought it down. Robinson there. Floston been really busy, the Richmond defender. Rewalt and Payne. This is all happening in the corridor of the Gabba now. Good hands from Payne, the big fella. Got down. Neil been everywhere. Then shrugged a tackle like few can. Starcevic streaming through the middle. What a tackle from Marlon Pickett. Nailed him. Free kick, Tigers.
Really nice tackle, but it was the delay of handball that brought Marlon Pickett into it. Had an option just to give it. Finals-like intensity. Got to see it and hit it straight away.
Oh, he's kicked it wide to Martin. Forward to the wing. He runs around the player on the mark, and Robinson delivers beautifully to Rewalt. Inside forward 50. 48 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
And Dave, that's what makes Dusty such a star, doesn't he? You said earlier in the call, doesn't need to get a lot of ball in hand, but just position that kick to Rewalt's advantage beautifully. Mismatch on prior, it must be said, but just a lovely weighted kick to his advantage of his teammate.
Got a very good goal-kicking record against Brisbane, does Jack Rewalt. Tigers by 5 points before the kick. 16.5 into the first term. Rewalt steps up, 49 out, hooks it, and it stays hooked. Won't be a goal. And it's slapped through for a rush point. The Tigers 2-2-14 and the Lions 1-2-8. 16.5 first term. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard.
It's quick, Blackie, as Kadeen Coleman doesn't waste any time. 50-metre dart finds McCluggage. McCluggage hits Robinson. Robinson, Lions attacking through the corridor now, going by hands. That's risky against this Tigers outfit. Robinson just got boots of ball. McCluggage with a Dusty-style stiff arm eventually kicks the thing inside forward 50. Mark not paid to McCarthy. Bit of a box on two. He's filthy as the Tigers take it away. Starcevic, good position, didn't go for the football. Rewalt, hands and knees. Bolton, here goes Pickett.
Yeah, real high sort of ball. Pickett trying to hand pass inboard and he's coughed it up. Hand pass straight to McCluggage. Hand pass to Hipwood on the wing. Kicked it wide to half forward. Charlie Cameron wanted to shove in the back. The umpire said throw it in. 48 around from the Brisbane goal.
Well, class comes to the fore in the red hot finals days. You see Hugh McCluggage just using the ball beautifully. We've seen Che Bolton do it a couple of times. Beautiful to watch the great classy ball users out here tonight.
It's a different sort of footy, finals football. We're seeing it here. It is fast. It is furious. We're inside the Lions forward 50. Sonzi, who's been busy, the teenager. Brilliant tackle by Charlie Cameron. And he gets in Jack Ross's face, lets him know about it. He's 55 from home, too far out to score.
Exactly what Chris Fagan would demand. To keep that ball in that forward half. Brisbane's forwards need to be better.
Kicks it, 25 out. Archie not going to get there. Tigers made a meal of it. Rioli trying to atone. Morris, what a tackle. Nailed McCarthy, and here go the Tigers to the outer side.
Yeah, advantage paid to Sonsi. Kicked it out the outer side, but no one home but young Wilmot, who picks it up on the bounce. He's got a bit of space here in time, but he's kicked too short, but he's followed up his own ball. Brilliant. Kick off the ground inside forward 50. Archie was out bustled by Big Miller, who took the mark for the Tigers. Little short ball towards Pickett, who ran off full back and kicks towards the centre, straight up the guts. No mark taken, ball on the deck, putting his head over at Matheson, wins it for the Lions. Hand pass Starcevic, hand pass Zorko, right in the centre of the Gabba, goes long towards Archie, who marks 35 out on a 45-degree angle. That was a beautifully weighted kick.
Beautiful passage of play there from the Lions, and the forward half turnover, we're seeing it. Richmond wanting to keep pace in the ball, but the Lions holding up really well defensively, set up, waiting and preying on those kicks going through the corridor, but then once they get it, the pleasing thing is they're going back quick at that Richmond defence before it can get set.
To draw the scores level, Archie from 40, drop punt is good, it is home. Lions get their second. It's 2-2-14 apiece. 19.5 first term. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard.
Oh, we got a cracking contest here, as was expected, first night of the finals. And for Dane Zorko's sake there, obviously coming off a massive fortnight under the heat, and that was just a magnificent kick. He got the ball through the middle of the ground, the centre circle there, drove his legs with a bit of pace, and he identified Callum Archie inside forward 50. Beautifully finished, and that's a nice settler for the Brisbane captain.
Absolutely, and just from the Tigers' point of view, I think they'll be pretty disappointed with the kicks they're trying to bite off early in this one. So often in finals, it's a team that settles first that can actually go on and win the game. They seem a little bit rattled and rushed across half back. They're winning the ball back, but when they get it, they're so quick to try and pull the trigger and go through the corridor, and the kicks have been missing the target. Both times we've seen an Archie score back of that.
Daisy Thomas, Simon Black, Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Scores are level, 14 points apiece. And here go the Lions again. Zach Bailey racing onto it against Floston. Kept it in front. Floston never gave up the chase. Nailed him in the tackle. We're going to have a ball up inside the Lions forward 50. We've played 20 and a half minutes in the first term.
Cracking start to the final series. Ball thrown up in the air. Oh, Danaher just grabs it out of the ruck, runs into trouble. Hand pass went straight up in the air. McCarthy tried to punch it forward. Short at the bottom of the pack. Under pressure kick went straight to Daniel Rich. Little hand pass off towards Zorko. Kicks out wide to Payne. He's 55 out. He loads up, but he's pushed it right. He's kicked that 60 metres. Beautiful drop punt. And it's a point, and the Lions are up by a point. Latter stages first term.
It is fast, fast, fast. Tigers have already brought the ball in. Cumberland called to play on. Long down the line. It'll be Miller. He's too big for Coleman. There's a mismatch opportunity for the Tigers. They'll look to exploit. The run comes from behind. Short. Prestia dropped what he should have taken. We'll get his Red Z Lenning stats in a moment from Ethan as Coleman with a little bit of class, a little bit of magic. He's turned the footy over though. Short. Just pings it down the line and Zorko couldn't close on Sonzi. Plays and goes to the pocket. Dusty, why wouldn't you V Gardner? He kept it in, Dusty. Surely not. The banana. He caught it skinny. Minor score. 2-3-15 apiece, and the King of the Jungle is just awakening from a slumber.
He's just so strong. One-on-one, isn't he? He just had his way there with Dusty Gardner. I mean, never seen to watch his body work.
They get out of their seats, Days, don't they?
Absolutely, and so they should.
And we do too.
He's sitting there. That kick wasn't exactly to his advantage, but his strength in the contest, and then just his ability to get back on the ball, unbelievable stuff.
Well, Andrews to Wilmot, real dangerous ball inside defensive 50 for the Lions. Now a stoppage. The umpire ball it up. Good result for Richmond. 35 out from their goal. They go to the right of our broadcast position in the first term, the city end of the ground. 15 apiece. Scores dead level. 23 minutes now into the first quarter. Bottom of the pack, Pryor throws it onto his left boot. Long ball to the outer side of the ground. McStay doesn't mark. Full of the ball. Tigers can come again. Long kick from Bolter inside forward 50. Martin at the back won't reach him. Harris Andrews brilliant. Dropping back with a fly to the footy. Marks deep back pocket.
Triple M Harvey Norman replay. We've just seen again that Oscar McInerney incident from earlier in the quarter that has ruled him out for the rest of the game. Bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs now at Harvey Norman. As the Tigers take an intercept mark, it was taken out wide by Bolter. He squares it up and finds Cochin. Called to play on, loads up from outside 50. The former skipper, long penetrating kick. Oh, don't forget about me, boys. There's a bit more grey in the hair, but Trent Cochin can still kick him. 3-3-21. He gives the Tigers a 6-point lead over the Lions on the Triple M Pepperjack Wine scoreboard.
Well, at the moment, it's 6-1 with intercept marks in Richmond's favour. The big men for them have been superb. Brisbane have only had the one in Harris Andrews, and that's initiated some of the forward forays for the Tigers. And Trent Cochin, he's turned his footy around, hasn't he? What a great season he has had, and it's been tough. He's found some great old form, if you like, Baz.
Yeah, Red Z Lenning stats. 5 of their 6 scores, Richmond so far, come from turnover. As Blackie was saying, 6-1 intercept marks. Leading ball wet on the ground at the moment. Nick Floston with 7, but Tyler Sonzi, 7 disposals, 3 contest possessions. Only his 7th game, first final, equal leading for the Tigers so far.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks finals footy. And up by 1 straight goal, the Tigers. Bounce is good. Ripping bounce, tapped down to ground level by McStay, who has a crack in the ruck. Short's got it, high contact free to Richmond. It's going to come back to Prestia. Right at the centre of the ground, threw himself at the ground level ball, got the contact and was rewarded. Hand past the play, running past him broad. Saw a real flat sideways punt inside forward 50. Slapped back outside by the Lions defenders. Pickett will be first there. Spun out of a tackle. Got to 50. Hooked the kick to the pocket. Lynch will fly against 2. Back of the packet bounces to the boundary line and goes out. Left forward pocket for the Tigers. As Lockie Neal just gets up after being attended to by a trainer after that Pickett spin. He's a very strong player, Days, isn't he? Pickett?
Absolutely. He gets a little bit lanky in the contest too. Just a stray errant elbow there hitting Neal in the head.
Keep an eye on Lockie Neal. You wonder whether the Lions docs will be looking at that on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay as an errant handball comes out of the pack. Oh, and he's been pinged. Deliberate. And Shea Bolton couldn't have got there quick enough.
The other person lurking was Dusty Martin as well, and he just said, no thanks, old timer, I've got this.
I don't know if you've been watching what I've been doing over the last 2 months. I've been all right. Shea Bolton says I've been more than all right. What a finish from the hottest player in the game right now. Shea Bolton nails it from the boundary line, 4-3-27. And in the blink of an eye, the Tigers are out to a 12-point lead. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard with 3.5 to play, first term.
That was shell and peas for Shea Bolton in that situation, isn't it? Such a highly skilled player. But, I've just found a way to wrestle back the momentum the last few minutes here, Richmond. And looking right on top. They start to win the ball around the middle of the ground a little bit more, and they're getting their opportunities going forward.
And a lot of that coming from those centre clearance. On that occasion, it was Prestia winning a free kick, and we're just watching that midfield of the Lions, who have been able to run patterns and run some real dynamic sort of routes through there with the dominance of Oscar McInerney. Him not being out there now, it's gone back to old-fashioned one-on-one, so they're getting absolutely carted around from those Richmond midfielders.
The great Daisy Thomas with Simon Black here tonight for McDonald's and Remont Water Triple M Rocks Finals footy. And the Tigers skip away to a 12-point lead. Brisbane under the pump early. Oscar McInerney off the ground, done for the night. Robinson out of the centre. Hand pass partially smothered. Now it's a fight for the footy. Gardner wins it. For Brisbane, he kicks the half-forward whistle. Free to the Lions. Play being held was McCluggage. 65 from home. Still a reasonably open forward line. Danaher's deep, but he's looking right. He's not looking that way. Goes short of the pocket to Hipwood, who led. And through his fingertips, it goes out of bounds, but he's got a chopping of the arms free. He's on the boundary line, 40 out, tough kick.
It's a good
but
side.
Big Ecker's got a chance.
Yeah, good side for the left footer. Then Hipwood on that side of the ground there, Baz. Just, chopping the arm we see here on the Triple M halving on the replay. Not a whole lot in it, I would have thought, but the smaller player in Boston tried to take out the right arm there of Hipwood.
And Eric Hipwood on the boundary line. He stands in front of a very big crowd of Tigers fans who are giving him plenty of advice out there. Just wishing him all the best as he...
Jesus, black and gold jumpers everywhere tonight.
Yes. As he comes in off that boundary, trying to concentrate. He'll drop it onto his left boot, 40 out, real tight. Drop punt is good. That is a ripping kick.
Wow.
Oh, Ecker. Hipwood kicks his first. The Lions get their third. They're 3-3-21. The Tigers 4-3-27. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard.
Well, that's massive for the Lions. It looked like Richmond really had the ascendancy and a real bit of momentum in that. But just to go back there and back yourself, back your routine in. It was the free kick. It was definitely there. He had a nice mismatch on Vlauston. He had no other option, Vlauston, but to try and just hack at an arm and hope the umpire didn't see it. It was a late whistle. But that's the beauty of having a strong set routine that you can go back in big moments, take your time and kick a really clutch goal for your side and bring them back within a kick. Because if it was the Tigs who got the next to score and it stretches out beyond the 2-3 goal margin, starts to slip away from you, although it only is the first quarter, it can start to get out of your grasp pretty quickly.
She was busy early on. Let's get down to the boundary with Belinda Mellon for Bob Jones team Arts Pete.
Lions doctors have been out to check on Lockie Neal after that elbow to the head and the head knock from Marlon Pickett. He waved them away, said, I am staying out here. Get away from me, boys.
Nice work, B. Good news for the Lions fans. All clear for their star, Lockie Neal. Ball inside the Tigers forward 50. Starcevic, he put Harris Andrews under some heat. Quick kick, a mark will be taken by Bailey. Ease the pressure for a moment. Hand through the corridor. Neal, long, strong, deep. Up goes Charlie. Tried to take a chest mark. Needed to use the hands. Then laid some pressure tackle. Out wide go the Tigers. McIntosh will take the mark.
McIntosh at half-back. Little drop ball. 15-20 metres. Richmond in front by 6 points. Doing it nicely. From half-back, long ball. Ross across the wing and Lynch will mark. About 70 from home. Just waits for the ball to be thrown back to him. Big Tommy drops it onto his right boot. Towards full forward. Bolton in the van. Rewalt flies from behind. Full of the ball. Bolton goes forward. Puckett breaks the tackle. Breaks the second. Nearly, not quite. And he dropped the ball. Had three players with arms around him. A quick kick out though, and the Tigers are back in the van here. The short kick back towards Berry. It's slapped out of his hands, and in fact it's gone out of bounds on the full off a Lions boot. So it's going to be the big fella in McIntosh who can have a shot here from 40 out. See the Harvey Norman, whose boot did that come off? Little toe poke it was in that pack.
Just an errant boot it was. Starcevic did a really good job to make the tackle on Bolton, but then the the play on advantage wasn't the option. Late in the corner, just go back, set the field, forced into a quick play. Not sure if the whistle wasn't heard, but it's certainly not the right option there from the Lions.
So McIntosh settles with the footy. He stands on the fence. He'll drop it onto his boot about 45 metres out. Tigers are up by a goal before the kick. Not bad off the boot, just across the face. It's punched back into play. Kicked off the ground, no. Cumberland was in the van. Bolton picks it up in the forward pocket. Tried to hook across his body. His kick was smothered. Cameron, Robertson for the line. Slapped it out towards defensive 50. Rioli got in the way. Little short ball will come back towards Cumberland, but this time a mark at half-back for Brisbane has been taken by Starcevic.
It's a good game of footy. It is fast. It is furious. Belinda Mellon for Bob Jane Teamarts has been the busiest person at the Gabba tonight. Bob Jane Teamarts look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au. Time it up for the Tigers as Bailey breaks through a tackle, keeps his run going, needs to be brave, straight line the footy, then kept it moving in the direction of Rich. A rebound comes the Tigers' way. Rioli missed the other Rioli. That's Morris to Daniel. Now it's with Pickett. Morris Rioli down in back play. We'll keep an eye out. Pickett, Daniel Rioli, chipping kick to the pocket. Cumberland, nice movement. Dropped the absolute sitter. And we'll have a boundary throw in with less than 30 seconds to play in the first term.
There's a little bit of that jury, a little bit of the sweat that B was talking about. Comes in pretty quick here. It takes a little bit to get used to, and you do have to watch every ball right into your mitts just when you think you've got it sewn up. If you don't keep those thumbs strong behind it, they can burst through like that and you can drop a pud.
Choice Hotels around the grounds, Heath. A reminder about tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, Friday huddle leading into Melbourne v Sydney. Of course, winner of this game plays the loser of that one.
Massive kick towards the centre. It's a real high ball. Vlosten slaps it to ground level. Pickett waited for it, took it on the bounce and was tackled into the deck. And the umpire calls for another ball up on the broadcast swing.
Big contest here, big stoppage, 14 seconds to go. Both sides can score if they have a penetrating clearance here.
Tigers by 6 points, approaching quarter time. Bottom of the pack, Robinson bumped off the footy. Cochin, there he is, puts his head over at bottom of the pack. Shuffled it out, but Rich grabbed it. Quick rush, kick towards half forward. It's a free to Brisbane. It's a free to Brisbane, and it's going to go to big Eric Hipwood.
He's going to not play on here. Sign's going to go any second here.
So the seconds tick down. Hipwood will have to kick this 51 metres at least. If he kicks it, scores a level at quarter time. Hipwood's got one. That beat from the boundary line 40 metres out. And what a cracking finish to this first term. If he slots this as level, and that's probably justice. It's been a ripping start to the elimination final. Hipwood being told by the umpire, just run straight ahead, don't run around.
It's a nice long kick, Baz. He'll get the journey, no worries at all.
Simon Black backs him in. Hipwood starts to walk in. He's coming back from a long way. He walked back to the wing. He steps up, 51 out, drop punt. It's long, it's strong, and it's home. That is a cracking finish to the first quarter of finals footy in 2022 and scores a dead level. Brisbane 4-3, the Tigers 4-3, Simon Black, Dale Thomas, Liam Flanagan, Baz, Belinda Mallon, Ethan Meldrum, for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks finals footy.
That quarter for Pepper Jack wine. Crack open a wine with the character to match. Pepper Jack. When character counts. 18 plus only. Drink responsibly.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
score a 1 in 4 chance to win the Monopoly game at Macca's. Ends October 18. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
38% of Aussies wrongly think that the pie is an Aussie invention. Only 5% correctly guess that it was the Egyptians who invented the pie.
And that first Egyptian pie was called the Molly Meldrum.
The Sphinx.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Spend $30 or more on fragrances at chemistwarehouse.com.au to get free fast delivery within 3 hours. T's and C's apply.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
The Monopoly game at Macca's is back with $578 million in prizes to be won. Prizes like free fuel for a year with Ampol, a $10,000 Webjet gift card and more. Download the MyMaccas app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
G'day, Rusty here. Thanks to Trade Institute of Victoria, Superbike champion Marty Craigle has transformed his career from professional athlete to CEO of one of Australia's leading construction groups, Maz Group. TIV not only provided Marty with professional training and experience, but they've been supporting him on his path to building his own business ever since. Transform your career today. Search TIV online. Trade Institute of Victoria. Build your future. RTO 21920.
Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman. Save up to $600 on selected Miele laundry packs, like the perfectly paired Miele 8kg front loader and 8kg heat pump dryer, now $3,798. Bonus $200 cash back on Samsung pack. Huge 12kg washer and 8kg dryer, just $2,694. Receive up to a bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs from all the big brands: LG, Fisher & Paykel, Electrolux, Westinghouse, Hisense, Haier and Ariston. Cashback via redemption. Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman.
Kane has a carpentry business. His challenge: to renew his public liability insurance for less than his old policy. On your marks, get set.
Yeah, I just did it.
What?
Yeah, I went online to BizCover. Took 5 minutes. I compared a bunch of policies. I saved over $250.
So, no dramas?
No dramas at all.
There are literally no dramas when you go to BizCover, the business insurance specialists. Save time, money, and get instant cover at bizcover.com.au.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Tilers and builders, National Tiles have increased our trade range by a staggering 501 new products. That's right, 541 additional new National Tile trade products. No other tile company in Australia offers the range of trade products that you'll find at National Tiles. So for all your tiles, adhesives, grouts, silicons, tools, tile cutting machines and more, go to nationaltiles.com.au now.
The Monopoly game at Macca's is back, with $578 million in prizes to be won. Prizes like free fuel for a year with Ampol, a $10,000 Webjet gift card and more. Download the MyMaccas app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Shut up!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Foxtel. Watch over 50 sports live and on demand for the love of sport.
Quarter time at the Gabba, 4-3-27 apiece, the Lions and the Tigers to kick off this elimination final. Don't forget, at Ream Hot Water, built tough rising conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install the Ream. Simon Black and Dale Thomas here tonight. Liam Flanagan calling the action. Before we go to the boys, let's go to Ethan Meldrum, Triple M Reds End leading stats. Eth, scoreboard can't split them. What do you see?
Well, the Lions, without Oscar McInerney, minus 10 in the hit-outs, which is what you'd expect. But around the ball, they're dominating. 12 clearances to 8, they're +4. Ground ball gets +9. Loose ball gets +9. Lions on top around the ball. Lockie Neal leading the way. 10 disposals, 7 contested, 5 clearances. Starcevic and McCluggage with 8 disposals apiece for the Tigers. Host of ball winners, Pickett, Vlosten, Sonzi and Ross, not the names you'd expect, all with 7 disposals apiece.
Oh, what an absolute treat to be here. Cracking contest days we've had so far. From the Lions' perspective, look, Lockie Neal, him McCluggage, they're classy ball users around the middle of the ground. They've been superb so far with 10 disposals and 8 respectively. And it is a big factor, as Ethan said. Without Big Oscar there, how do they shark the ruck off Nankervis and off Miller around there? They're doing that so far around the ground. And I mentioned throughout the court, just the class of the ball users in Neal and McCluggage, Zorko at times as well. Very important early in that first turn for Brisbane. Harris Andrews been good down back for the Lions as well.
Yeah, and for the Tigers, I expect them to start really getting it outside the bubble. We know they're going to get some dominance here, so expecting this quarter, Big Nank in there just to belt the ball forward at times, try and get it out into some space. We know that the Lions will be trying to shark it. Interesting to see the Tigers are really well set defensively, but under no pressure, force themselves into error by trying to play fast back at the Lions. The Lions scored on the back of that.
Bob Jane Seamart's pulled in the Melbourne boundary side.
Morris Rioli just got his boot back on in time to start back out on the ground. He got his right ankle strapped after rolling it late in that quarter. Also, Jared Berry had a massive bandage and protective padding applied to his left quad. He has obviously sustained a cork himself. Oh, the umpire's down out there, boys.
Yeah, we're underway in the second term, and you're right, B. The umpire has been sat on his backside, which means everybody out there has now. It is a furious start to this one. We're going to have another bounce in the middle. We're just seeing a shot of Oscar McInerney on the bench. He's got 2 footy records shoved up his nose.
How bad does that snout look?
That looks horrible. That's going to take a lot of renovation after this one. Oscar McInerney out of the game. Archie in for the Lions. Underway, the Lions kicking to the right of your radio dial. Rioli of the Dan variety. Handball inside, turnover. McStay lowers the eyes. Nice little hit up. Finds Bailey. 55 from home. A lead comes to the pocket. It's Charlie. It gets to him. It was the perfectly weighted kick from one small forward for the Lions to another, and Charlie Cameron will go back and kick at his first.
And Richmond's so good at getting themselves set back there. What allowed that entry in that mark was the fast ball movement of Zach Bailey. Didn't mess around, had a quick scan across the field, and then saw Charlie coming at him, hit the kick. Beautiful lead, beautiful kick.
Charlie Cameron been well worn by Nathan Broad so far in this one. Tight angle, right side. He's pushed it, minor score, and that is the lead. 4-4-28 the Lions, 4-3-27 the Tigers. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. Watch over 50 Sports live and on demand for the love of sport.
Nathan Broad at full-back will bring it back in. Big first term for him, Heath, wasn't it, Nathan Broad?
Yeah, Nathan Broad, 5 disposals, 2 intercept marks as well, most on the ground. Richmond leads 6-2 in the intercept marks so far.
Baker in the back pocket. Receives it and then drops it onto the right boot. Long drop punt to the outer side wing. Big fly and a good mark. Taken by Big Nan Curvis. He turns around on the left boot. High ball towards half forward. Oh, Dusty Martin, brilliant. Got rid of Gardner, trapped the footy, hand pass to Morris Rioli. And he ran into Robertson. And the ball slapped out of his hands, out of bounds, so a boundary throw in. Around about 53 metres around from the Richmond goal.
Dusty Martin just out-bodying Darcy Gardner there. Key position player. And doing it at 80% according to his coach Damien Hardwick. Back into the side. Martin has already got 1 goal. So too is this man Shea Bolton. He overran the footy though. McCluggage busy in the first quarter. Snap around the body. Tigers follow the ball. Good tackle late on Prestia. Haven't seen a lot of him. Berry was taken without it. Play on to the umpire. Robertson taken with it. Going to be Ping holding the football. Free kick Tigers. It's going to Sonzi. He's been very good so far, the teenager.
He has, Flanners. He walks back with the footy. 4 to the wing outer side of the ground's where he stands, but he can run in and does. Real low, searching drop punt into the pocket. It was Cumberland the target for the ball. Martin, look at him. Have a look at Dusty. Broken tackle, left foot snaps the river. Oh, what a goal. A ripping goal, 5-3-33. And it was Shai Bolton, in fact, 4-4-28 the Lions, 3.5 second term. Snapped out of that pack. That was beauty from Bolton.
Oh, what a star he is, Dave. His ability to sort of get hand on him. He's so evasive, so elusive, and he just showed then again what a classy player to get through a sea of Lions players to then snap truly on that left foot. What a star he is.
That's the second time now we've seen him. Once in the forward pocket, absolutely pinched the pocket of Dusty Martin. Dusty had that sewn up and he rolled straight past him there and said, no thanks again, old timer, I'll have it. He's doing some amazing things. Just the composure when he gets close to goal and backing in his skill set is what I love. He was almost about to have a ping from near the point post, but he goes, no, I'll take it on, I'll get round you and then just snap it, make it a full-blown conclusion.
Daisy Thomas, Triple M Seabus Super. Special comment, Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Ball back in the middle, 5 points to lead to the Tigers. Early stages, second quarter as Lockie Neal has been the best player on the ground just about. Gets it back to Rich, inside forward 50 now for the Lions though. Rioli sends it away. Mark taken by Starcevic. No, he dropped it late. Play on, said the umpire. Now it's Wilmot, the first gamer. High, long, deep. It's been touched. You heard the umpire call. Who's at the fore of the ball? McCarthy's tripped up and will have a boundary throw in. Left forward pocket for the Lions.
A ripping start to the second term after a sensational first term. 5 points up the Tigers. Boundary throw in. Left forward pocket. Brisbane search. Danaher in the ruck against Nankervis. Nankervis slapped at the ground level. Baker went without it. Big Nank goes again, just hacks it out to the boundary line. McIntosh slaps it to the advantage of Sonsi. Ripping start for him in the match. High ball back to the wing outside of the ground. Lynch slaps it down to Rewalt. Dragged down and a tackle by Wilmot. Spills to Payne for Brisbane, but he ran along the ground. Kick straight back to Sonsi. Gives it to Cumberland. Back to Sonsi. Scrubby ball to Prestia forward of the wing. Met by Starcevic. Just punched it to half forward. Payne gets in the way. Hand pass to Robertson at half back for Brisbane.
Robertson wanted to switch the play. Instead decided to take it back to the outer side. McStay caught in a wrestle. Ball finds Hipwood. We're going to have a boundary throw in. Outer side. Ethan Tyler Sonsi's been absolutely everywhere as there's a bit of a push and shove.
Yeah, certainly has. Already 4 disposals in this quarter, up to 11 for the game. Only Lockie Neal has more. 3 score involvements as well for Tyler Sonsi.
And what about the first game of Darcy Wilmot, Eve?
Darcy Wilmot, 7 disposals, couple of inside 50s already, averaging 17 a game in the VFL. So pretty prolific so far tonight.
Boundary throwing, ground level ball. Berry runs away for Brisbane. Forward of the wing. It's an open forward line. Look at Cameron run back. Oh, brilliant spoil on him. Goes back onto it. Little snap across the body is home. That is a sensational goal, Charlie Cameron. And the Lions are back to a 1-point lead. 5-4-34 to 5-3-33. Brisbane up Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. And we're 6.5 into the second term.
They've been keeping a close eye on that matchup all night. Nathan Broad v Charlie Cameron. His ability to try and stay goal side, that being Broad. So when Charlie Cameron gets up the ground, he's giving him 4 or 5 metres because he knows he doesn't have the wheels to get him if he does turn and go back to goal. On that occasion, Charlie got out the back. Broad did a terrific job to get a hand in there. He looked like he had it absolutely sewn up, did Charlie Cameron on the Harvey Norman. But as soon as the ball hit the deck, he was like a butterfly with sore feet. He landed, got straight back up, kicked the goal across his body. Nothing you can do if you're Nathan Broad except sit there, tip the hat and say you are far too good.
Absolutely.
We just saw Blackie on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay that he even got the high five from Fades as he went to the bench. The ultimate tip of the cap. Don't forget, bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs now at Harvey Norman. And here come the Lions again. The clearance from the restart. It's been marked by Floston, though. Intercept for the Tigers. They bounce to the outer side. McIntosh by hands finds Gibcus long down the line. Out the back for Lynch. Decides to go off the deck. Didn't want to bend down and pick it up. Rich taken high. Free kick, Lions.
Brisbane up by a point. Rich in the back pocket. Kicks across the goal. He's defending. And Payne will mark. Looks straight up the ground with a kick. Dangerous ball. Wilmot the target. Morris Rioli was onto it. Spalled it to ground level. Broke the tackle of Pryor. Little scrubby ball inside forward 50. Bounces for Lynch. Hand pass back to Rewalt. He went to ground. Rioli's gone again here. Morris Rioli's followed up his own ball. Punts a little hand pass out to short. He's 60 from home. Squares it up to the hot spot about 40 out. No mark taken. Harris Andrews barges through the pack. Robertson at the bottom of the pack for Brisbane. Punches it out to Gardner at halfback. They'll get out of trouble here, Brisbane. Short kick by Payne towards the wing. Defensive sign, McCarthy will mark.
This is end-to-end stuff at the Gabba. Thursday night elimination final. Loser goes home through the corridor. Go the Tigers. No, it's the Lions, and Rich straight line the footy with Floston. Joe's nailed in the back by Tarrant. It's all happening as Zorko sends it inside forward 50. Standing in the way was McIntosh, Baker, wide, Pickett. Chance for the Tigers to pick their way through the Lions' defence. Ends in the hands of Short. Bounce one. Corridor kick. Finds his former skipper, Cotchin. He's got a goal to his name. Wants a lead. Gets it in Lynch. Nails the big full forward. Precision work there by the Tigers, and Tommy Lynch will go back to kick it his first from 45. Not much angle.
And that's Richmond at their best, isn't it? From that back half transition days, just nice speed on the ball, but nice composure at the same time. Short there, beautiful, nice little kick inside to find his skipper and Cotchin at half forward. And then just that lovely composure to lower the ice, come with that Tom Lynch coming at him. Lovely piece of forward, midfield to forward craft.
47-20 from set shots this season, and kicking nice and accurate. Had some injury concerns, but that's what the week off before finals does. It gets the Stars back on the park. Tom Lynch is a star, and he's got the Tigers back in this one. He gets his first. Gives the Tigers back the lead. 39 plays 34. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. Watch over 50 Sports live and on demand for the love of sport.
It was a missed opportunity from the Lions because they wanted to go through the corridor, but when they probably should have looked to explore the open side a little bit more. Mitch Robertson had done a really nice job out there of holding some width. And once they gave that first handball there to Cadet Coleman, and brought him into it, but kept that speed on the ball. He was then forced to do a little chip kick rather than survey the field and go back off your mark and have a look where the best way was. So the Lions caught up a little bit just in that fast ball movement.
We saw Zorko here on the Triple M Harvey on replay. Zorko wanting to get on a Daniel Rich. Probably wasn't the best option because they had forward pressure coming forward from Richmond, which really put the Lions under the pressure. That long kick forward might have been the better option.
Tigers by 5 points. Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Simon Black and the great Daisy Thomas here tonight. 10.5 second term for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks finals footy. Out of the centre, Brisbane. Bouncing ball, but in the way is the big fella in Bolter. He goes short and finds Ross. And he takes the mark on the wing. Goes short again to Bolton, just forward of the wing. About a 15-metre pass. Broadcast side, he's got Ross running past, dummies around him, but good work from Zach Bailey, who just kept his eyes on his hips. Brought Bolton down, let him know, picks up the footy, plays on, kick back to half forward for Lions. RT's got 2 to beat. Bolter's one of those, scrubbed on the kick, but it bounces to Watson and half back, breaks away from Danaher and goes low to the outer side wing.
Tigers are away. Short lays it on the deck, inside forward 50, the blink of an eye, and it's in the hands of Cumberland. This young man that has emerged late in the season, Simon Black tells us that he used to be a part of the Brisbane Lions Academy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a Sunshine Coast boy, young Cumberland. He was in the academy for the Lions for some time, and Brisbane's decided not to go with him, and I think a little decision they might regret, Baz.
Well, he kicked 5 against them in that famous comeback late in the regular season, and now he has a chance to kick his first of the evening and stretch the lead of the Tigers. A little bit of a Josh Kennedy about the run-up. Launches across the face. Andrews fists it through for a minor score. 40 plays 34. Tigers lead. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard with 12 minutes to play second term.
Can we get a stat on that pressure rate in this game, Ethan?
Yeah, we certainly can. We know about Richmond's pressure. AFL average pressure factor 180. Richmond last 10 minutes cranked it up to 211, way above the AFL average.
Wow.
Brilliant. The Tigers have definitely lifted. As Danaher gets a free kick on the outer side wing defensive side. Walks back with the footy. Big Joe forced up the ground. Oscar McInerney off in the first 2 minutes of the match, and he's out of the game with concussion. Long kick towards Hipwood, who marks. Forward to the wing outer side. He's about 65 metres from home. Big Eric onto the left boot. Keeps it low. Archie in the pocket. Slapped out of his hands. Ground level ball. Charlie Cameron. Look at him go. Gets away from Gipkus. Goes short, but the kick was too short. It bounced straight to Miller. Big Miller for the Tigers. Dragged down by Zorko. And the umpire will ball this up about 40 out from the Lions' goal. They trailed by 6 points, 13 minutes second term.
This is one of those moments for the Brisbane Lions we've spoken about in the games where they have gotten away from them. It's been sides having the ascendancy. Richmond have that now with the pressure. Can they hold up? Breaking even right at this point of the game is a win.
Boundary throw-in. Daisy Thomas, Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Says this is a moment for the Lions. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. They trail by a goal. 40 plays 34, and Mitch Robinson just having some words to Lachie Neale. Says, don't you know I might retire if we lose. As the Tigers take it away from the boundary throwing. Kick to the outer side. Dusty. He's too strong for Darcy Gardner now. He's too strong for Daniel Rich. They might have to find a bigger player as he cleverly just chips it over the top. Keeps it rolling. Forced to go backwards is Ross. Dangerous kick. Beast mode got to it. And Reece Matheson earns himself a free kick through some hard work.
He does. Caught one over his shoulder in the process of spoiling that ball against McIntosh there. So they'll have the ball, the Lions, on the centre wing.
So Matheson back with the footy. 6 points the margin Richmond's way. 14 second term. Low drop punt, about a 40-metre ball towards Hipwood, who leads off half forward. Slapped out of his hands. Ross at the fall of the ball again. He's tackled, spins around the 360. Broke the tackle. Hand pass off to Prestia. Onto the right boot. Long high ball hugs the boundary line. Rewalt and Payne fly. For the ball didn't go out of bounds. Martin picks it up 60 out. Goes short. Lynch drops a mark. He went to his knees. Look at Rioli. Swooped on it, Morris Rioli. He's been brilliant tonight. Hand pass back to Martin, who's 60 out. Goes for the square check side towards the pocket. Lachie Neale read it best coming in. Marks in the back pocket for Brisbane.
50 metres going against Tom Lynch.
Refused to stand was the reason, was asked to stand and then decided to try and vacate the 5 metres.
He's got those in his game. The big spearhead can get frustrated at times, and he's given one away, and he sent Lockie Neal all the way up to the centre circle. Goes wide. In some space, McStay. Questions about where he'll be next year, but right now he's a Brisbane Lion, and he's looking to level the scores as he drives it to a lead. Hipwood! Good lead, probably been the Lions' best moving forward inside 50. He'll go back and kick at number 3.
He's been impressive, boys. He's had some real presence about him. He's taken some contested marks, kicked a big goal there at quarter time. He looks like this is a really big opportunity for him, and he's taken it.
Good signs for the Lions too, because Danaher playing a lot more up the ground in the ruck after they're having to activate the medi sub early with McInerney, so he becoming the number one fiddle down there and looking like he's really relishing it.
It's giving him some space up there with Danaher up the field, isn't it?
Oh, he's taken it all the way down to 1 second on the clock. But he begins his run-up. Kicking it, number 3, Eric Hipwood. Fans behind the goals will tell the story. Not much from the Lions supporters. A minor score. Margin back to 5 points. 40 plays 35. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. We've got 9 minutes to play second term.
So Vlosten to bring it back in. Tigers by 5 points. Looks to the outer side. Plays on. Another flat drop punt that lands not where he wanted it to, and Berry sees it land on his chest. He's forward to the wing outer side for Brisbane. He'll pump them back inside. Big pack of Tigers will fly against each other, and Gibcus was the player with the fist on it, thumped it out of bounds.
One thing that's been really pleasing from the Lions is when they do get a forward half turnover and in a dangerous space, they're going quickly back at that Richmond defence. So on this occasion, it hasn't turned out into being a clear mark, but you've got territory again. So if Richmond do win this from a stoppage, they've got to transition the whole field. Really good play from the Lions.
Nankervis just too strong for Joe Danaher. Took it out the ruck, then moved it forward. Comes back off the shins. Ross taken high in a tackle. Free kick. Tigers take advantage. None to be taken. Oh, I don't know if Tim Hardwick will like that decision. And then he's beaten him holding the football. Tim has just punched the hole in the glass.
At 50.
Oh, no. Tim is coming down from the box.
Oh, Dimmer.
He's furious.
Oh.
It's a first gamer. Darcy Wilmot having a shot on goal here too, boys.
Yeah, Fakes looks all right.
Have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Dimmer has blown a gasket. He's gone to Eddie Maguire Brent.
Yeah.
And I do feel for him. I'm not sure that was a fair advantage, Will Baz.
No, he's filthy. He is filthy.
Well, we'll talk about that later, but right now, Darcy Wilmot, first game of senior footy. The youngest bloke in the draft pool last year to kick maybe the biggest goal of the game. Look at him celebrate! They come from everywhere to celebrate with the young man, and Dimmer Hardwick is still blowing up the Lux in the box. The Lions lead it by a point with 8 minutes to play in the second term, 41-40, Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Gasket gone, Richard, coach's box, absolutely not happy one bit, rightfully so. But to the Brisbane Lions, we spoke about the massive moments in the game. That's twice now. Ill-disciplined 50 metres and shots on goal as a result of that. That's why there's so much frustration. Have a look at the smile on the young bloke.
He's loving it, though.
He's genuinely loving it, and that's what it's all about.
He's run off the ground here. The arms up, pumping the crowd up. Give it to me.
He's got some mojo. I tell you, he's a beauty. We like Darcy. There's a Harvey Norman replay. Dimmer's reaction wasn't as excited as Wilmot's teammates. But for McDonald's, the Remont Water, Triple M Rocks finals footy. And the Lions are back in front by a point. 19th second turn. The bounce will be recalled.
Well, free kicks 14-6 in Brisbane's favour, boys. So there you go.
This one to be
not a good sign if you're a wall in that Richmond coach's box. It is coming.
Danaher in the ruck, slaps it to ground level. Presti will see the ball bounce out his way. Well, coming through and taking it off him, though, was Zorko. He just barrels it back inside for Brisbane, back of the pack. Look at Bailey run onto it. Open goal, Brisbane. 2 and 30 seconds for the Lions. And they've snuck out to a 7-point lead. Brisbane 7-5-47. The Tigers 6-4-40. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Oh, centre bounce clearances and centre bounce goals, Days. That's what that was for the Lions. Managed to get it forward out of the centre bounce. And Zach Bailey, who is so important to this Brisbane side, he adds so much speed and dynamic movement. And he read it beautifully off the pack coming. He was in front of front of the pack when the ball hits the pack's hands, spit it out. But his speed allowed him to get through the contest and run into an open goal. We see here on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay a nice centre clearance from Brisbane, and Zach Bailey did his magic forward of the ball.
Can't underestimate the role Joe Danaher is playing in the ruck at the moment. That's their 4th goal from stoppage, the Brisbane Lions, in this match.
Setup looks good, Dace, doesn't it? I mean,
just
competing,
just competing, having a red-hot crack and trying to quell the influence of Nankervis, a more experienced ruckman.
Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M rocks footy. Nankervis put it down to Prestia. He went out of mid-air. And the kick has landed in the lap of Jack Rewalt, who's just looking to take the momentum out of the sails. He's going to go back. Payne stands on the mark just inside the 50-metre arc.
And he'll kick from 52, have the journey, no worries. Clever kick out of the centre bounce from, I think it was Darcy Shaw. Knew he was going to get tackled if he took the ball out of the hands. Clever to kick out of the air.
Jack Rewalt, 14 old time on the goal kickers list. What a career he's had. One club man, 3-time premiership player. And he drags his team back into it. Oh, and he gives it the big bicep pump. Jack says, don't worry, Dimmer, I got this. Lions 47, Tigers 46. It's a nail-biter. 6.5 minutes to play, second term, Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Not a whole lot you can do about that if you're the Brisbane defenders. Just good heads-up play there in the middle from Richmond. They needed the centre bounce clearance. They were good enough to get one, hacked it forward. And this is what I'm expecting a little bit more of. If Nankervis is having some dominance in there, try and get it outside the bubble, Blackie. You would have played insides and in the midfield. If you are going to get truck and trail it around, you can come in, block for someone and try and get it outside rather than keeping it in close as a defensive side who doesn't have the superior ruckman. That's exactly what you want.
Absolutely, and that's how you get penetrating clearances and really good territory on the ball, isn't it?
Triple M Super special comments, 2 superstars in the one box. Simon Black, Dale Thomas. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks finals footy. Bounces good. Tapped down to Robertson from Brisbane. Dragged off his kick. Picked up by Cotchin. Long hand pass over the top. Starcevic read it in front of Bolton. Brought it to ground. Ground level ball. Coleman dives on top. He got caught. And he got caught high. He'll get a free kick at half-back.
You can see, Baz, there's a bit of dew on the ground. The boys out there starting to find it tricky at times to take the ball cleanly.
So Coleman steps back flat-footed in no hurry at all. He looks short with a pass. And Zorko will mark in front of the Tigers. Faithful out there, Flanners. And they are giving it to him.
We haven't seen this yet, Baz. Not big Melbourne supporters, but they obviously remember what he got up to a couple of weeks ago, and they've turned the footy over here. Chance for the Tigers to rebound. Harris Andrews. A diving fist. Gardner. Oh, he had it plucked off his fingertips by Cumberland. The young man used to be a Brisbane Lions Academy product. Now he's a Tiger favourite as he rams home a goal and gives the Tigers back the lead, 52-47. Richmond lead. A seesawing affair, Simon Black.
With Darcy Gardner just needed to just blaze the ball long and far away from him as he could. He tried to be a bit cute, a little chip over the top, and it got intercepted. Here we'll see here on the Harvey Norman Triple M Harvey Norman replay just exactly how it happened. But Darcy Gardner under pressure in your back 50, just need to pump the ball as far away as you can, and just made a poor decision on that occasion.
Red Z leading stats, only 23 minutes into the second term. That is already the 8th lead change of the night so far in this game.
What a ripper. Elimination finals footy. No tomorrow for one of these sides, and neither want to be that side. 5 points up are the Tigers. 23.5 second term for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M rocks finals footy. The thump of the bounce. McStay up for Brisbane. Slaps it down to Berry. Berry, little hand pass back to McStay. Goes back to McCluggage. Little kick off the ground and smothered by Starcevic.
Clever.
Sonsi's got it. Hand pass to Prestia. Hand pass over the top. Forward of the wing. Running onto the footy is Bolton, who picks it up 65 out. Goes short towards Cumberland inside forward 50. Grabs the footy, tries to barge through 4 Lions. Stands in the tackle. And the umpire will ball it up 40 out for the Tigers goal.
5.5 to play in the second term. It feels like the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Pressure is high as Nankervis fists it into the corridor. Pryor will clear the danger for the Lions. It's only going as far as Noah Bolter. He's been inefficient by foot, so he goes by hand. Rioli lowers the eyes. Clever, just the required distance. Ross plays on to drive a dagger into the Lions' heart. Straight through the middle from Jack Ross. And another individual goal kicker on the board for the Tigers. That's number 8. 9-4-58. They are 7-5-47. The Brisbane Lions Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. And an 11-point margin now in favour of Richmond.
A really nice intercept mark there from Noah Bolt. A clever play too, because that wasn't an easy ball to catch. It was a big float, a big mung that came out. Kept his eye on it, but then keeping the speed back in it. Giving it to the player who was shoulders out rather than going back and having to pump it in over the man and the hands on the mark. Got it into a dangerous spot. The Tigers at the minute set up really well defensively. They're so good at this. We know when they get territory, they can set up behind the ball so well, and it's so hard to get the ball and transition it end to end on them.
Seabus Super making hard work pay off for the Triple M Seabus Super special comments. The great Daisy Thomas joined tonight by Simon Black for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater Triple M Rocks Finals footy. Another terrific bounce. Nan Curvis, magnificent. Hand pass to Ross, who runs out of the centre. Hand pass to Pickett. A blind turn. Kick partially smothered. It's on the deck 40 from the Tigers' goal. As Rewalt lays the tackle, and the umpire will ball it up. He had a good look. Had a very long look. 40 out from Richmond's goal, but they surge forward again, Blackie.
They are. They've got some good momentum here, the Tigers.
Going to have a ball up. 45 out from the Tigers' goal. They lead it by 11 points. Comes to Prestia. Gives it to Sonzi, the teenager, who's had an absolute blind and needs a bounce. Harris Andrews is 6 metres tall, and he fists it through for a minor score margin and even 2 goals on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
How good of a judge is Zav Clark? We said we wanted a player to watch, someone whose name may not be up in lights. He gave us Sonzi, and I tell you what, he's dead set, just setting this joint on fire.
It's a real moment for the Tigers. They have taken control in the last 5-6 minutes as Daniel Rich, beautiful long drop punt to the outer side wing. Berry at the bottom of the pack, slaps it down to Neil for Brisbane. Just hacks the ball across the wing in hope. Gibcus tracks it back and the ball goes out of bounds with Hipwood coming the other way. Boundary side, Bob Jane, T-Mart's beat.
Cumberland coming to the bench with a shoulder problem. Doctors have checked him and they'll check him again.
Bob Jane T-Marts, look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today. bobjane.com.au. Boundary throw in. 12-point lead to the Tigers. Scores were level at quarter time. It has been an end-to-end affair at the Gabba on a Thursday night, and it's going back to the Tigers' end. Prestia, the Boona inside forward 50. Dusty's there, but the Lions have the footy through Andrews. Around the body, will be forced to go. Oh, Bolton got up real high. Didn't come down with the football though. Hands and knees is Matheson. Gets it to McStay. Now Bailey. Corridor opportunity for the Lions. Long by McCarthy. Wants Eric. Eric gets up. Charlie's at the fore of the football. What about the tap over the head? Eric! Charlie Cameron, you can't do that! Eric Hipwood gets his third, but Charlie Cameron take a bow to the Brisbane faithful. Drags his side back into it. 59-53, the Tigers lead. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Oh, Charlie Cameron, absolutely take a bow. How clever was that? Just knew he was going to be under the pump if he took possession. Just a tap over his right shoulder into the passage, I guess, of Eric Hipwood, who was on the flyby. And I think I sense tonight, Charlie Cameron's had Dylan Grimes so many times, so many matchups throughout his career. He's had always a tough time against Dylan Grimes. He's got Broad tonight, who's such a great defender as well, but probably just not quite as tight as what Grimes is. And you can sense that Charlie Cameron can feel that and sense that he's going to have a real impact on this occasion tonight, Daisy.
Absolutely, and it's just that initial 2-3 metres off the mark where he's getting Broad at the minute. We know Grimes for how big he is. He's got some real explosive pace, so he's getting some separation, Charlie Cameron, but that was unbelievable. Great heads-up play.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks Finals footy, the bounce outside the circle. Bob Jane, T-Mart's beat.
Doctor's taking Cumberland down to the rooms with that left shoulder.
So Cumberland down in the rooms for the Tigers. McInerney off early in the game. If you're just joining us, concussion out. As Prestia out of the centre, gets the clearance for Richmond. It's a bouncing ball to half forward. Forward 50, Morris Reale tracks it. Ground level ball, runs into Neil. Ball still in dispute. On the deck, Rewalt dives on top. And the umpire to ball it up. Still about 52 metres out from the Tigers' goal. 6 points is their lead. 29 and a half minutes now into the second term. Cracking elimination final.
Ball up just outside the Tigers' forward 50. Storming through comes the first game of Wilmot. Could have been holding the football. Umpire, maybe a first game discount for the young man. Pryor for the Lions. pops it out in front of McCarthy. Wasn't sure whether to go. Opted to go with one hand. It paid off. The lead comes inside forward 50. Bailey and Cameron. Do they work together? Bailey didn't quite know whether to pass it or go for goal. In the end, he did neither, and he put it to the boundary line for a throw-in.
In the end, probably a better result than the point. Gives them a chance to set it up in that forward pocket. Both of them, though, starting to cause some headaches. Bailey working in tandem down there with Cameron. Cameron having Broad. Broad didn't know on that occasion whether to come off and provide some serious pressure to Bailey. Elected to stay on Cameron, so Bailey had the easy shot on goal.
Still 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Boundary throwing in the pocket. Grabbed by McStay. Tried to find somebody by hand. Couldn't find anyone. Lost the footy in the handle. Quick kick out of the pack. Goes high to the boundary line. And it's out of bounds. So a boundary throw-in halfway between wing and half forward for the Brisbane Lions. Bob Jane, Team Art speak.
Dion Prestia's stormed from the field. He's gone straight to the back of the box. He's thrown his mouth guard. He's shaking his head and swearing. I reckon he's out for the game. I think it's a hamstring, boys. He is certainly not happy.
Oh.
Very, very despondent.
Belinda Mellon is absolutely all over it down there before anyone else. It looks like Prestia might have done a hamstring. Azorko on the wing outer side of the ground. Kicks Brisbane back inside forward. Fifth Rioli got smashed. And a dangerous tackle against Hipwood. And Daniel Rioli still on the ground. Triple M Harvey Norman replay, boys. What do you think?
Interesting to have a look at this one, Blackie. No, it's the second motion that's done him.
Yeah, he went on with it, didn't he?
The first initial hit I thought was brilliant. Just the foot in the hoop, the head in the hole sort of set up. But then once Rioli had lost possession, followed down. Correct decision.
2 minutes to play in the first half as Rioli thumps it long down the line. Lions have already activated their medi-sub. Archie into the game at the expense of McInerney, the ruckman. As Rich hooks around the body, and it looks as though the Tigers might activate theirs at the half-time break with a reported hamstring injury to Dion Prestia. Shane Edwards. Not a bad medi-sub to bring in if you can at half-time. Fresh legs.
Yeah, good point, Flanners. That is enormous, but well, finals are games of attrition, aren't they, Blaggy?
They sure are, and it's what we're seeing here tonight.
Kick across the wing, outer side of the ground, punched out of bounds, true wing position out of side.
Quick one for our man Ethan. Dion Prestia, how many times has he been subbed out this season?
Well, if he does get subbed out, hasn't been made official by champion data at least yet. That would be the 4th time he's been subbed out this year with a soft tissue injury.
So a boundary throw in, true wing position, outer side of the ground. Still plenty of time left in the first half. 1 minute 36 seconds. That's a lifetime in footy in the modern game. Punch to the side of the pack. Neil tracks it for Brisbane. Running the wrong way. Hand passes back over his head to McCluggage. Got it by hand over towards Matheson. Kicked to Bailey at half forward through his hands. It bounces to forward 50 from Brisbane. Short gets back there. Hand pass off towards Rioli, who's close to the boundary line. Danaher lays a tackle. And the umpire has said throw the ball back into play, Heath.
Red Z leading stats. That was clearance number 9 for Lachie Neale. 12 contested possessions from 20 disposals as we near half-time.
Jeez.
Wow.
I think we're on stat watch for Lachie Neale. Boundary throw in left half forward. 58-59 plays 53. The Tigers lead it by one straight goal. The boundary throw in is Marlon Pickett. Well, he didn't like the tackle on Daniel Rioli moments ago, and he's starting to get a little bit physical and go on with things at the bottom of the pack. We'll have a ball up.
Thrown in the air. Throw a blanket over about 12 to 16 here as McStay grabs it out of the ruck. Hand passes close to the boundary line. Pickett kept it in. He got there first. Hand pass back to Broad. Still inside defensive 50. Now a kick outside again. Hugs the boundary line out of side. And it's touched out of bounds, and another boundary throw will ensue. Really going wide at the moment. Both sides boundary throw in halfway between wing and half forward. And that be for the Brisbane Lions, who trail by 6 points as we tick up to the 34-minute mark, Flanners,
Been a long
of the second
quarter,
term.
Baz. Edwards now out on the field for the Tigers, so they have made a sub. We'll just check whether it's Cumberland or Prestia in a moment. As Berry's hatched on it, eventually he gets it out. Clock continues to kick. McCarthy moves it forward for the Lions. Bolter tried to slap it only as far as Neale, then went tunnel ball style. Got it to Rioli. Ross caught with the footy by McCluggage. Time enough for the Lions. Free kick. Hugh McCluggage plays on. Top of the square. Hipwood got up high. Couldn't bring it down with him though. Standing up tall. Berry, quick hands. Falls to Lachie Neale. Been everywhere, but Bolton. No, it's Broad. Right on the goal line. Last line of defence for the Tigers.
Jeez, that was the absolute last line. And what an incredible finish that would have been if that was a goal. We still would have had scores level at half-time. As it turns out, with a long ball towards the outer side and the siren going, a final kick towards goal will be no score. And it is Richmond that will go in 6-point leaders at half-time. 9-5-59 plays 8-5-53 Brisbane. Dale Thomas, Simon Black, Liam Flanagan, Belinda Mallon, Ethan Meldrum and Baz. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M, Rocks Finals Footy.
That quarter for Foxtel. Watch over 50 sports live and on demand for the love of sport.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
What did you think was right, but it turned out to be wrong?
Clara sent me one from Anonymous.
Oh.
Is it from Clara?
Is this Clara? On the phone.
Okay.
She thought that prima donna meant before Madonna.
Like prima donna. The music industry prima donna.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Spend $30 or more on fragrances at chemistwarehouse.com.au to get free fast delivery within 3 hours. T's and C's apply.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman. Save up to $600 on selected Miele laundry packs, like the perfectly paired Miele 8kg front loader and 8kg heat pump dryer, now $3,798. Bonus $200 cash back on Samsung pack. Huge 12kg washer and 8kg dryer, just $2,694. Receive up to a bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs from all the big brands: LG, Fisher & Paykel, Electrolux, Westinghouse, Hisense, Haier and Ariston. Cashback via redemption. Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman.
The Monopoly game at Macca's is back, with $578 million in prizes to be won. Prizes like free fuel for a year with Ampol, a $10,000 Webjet gift card and more. Download the My Macca's app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Finding that forgotten $20 in your jeans, that's pretty good. Woohoo! Yeah! Almost as good as the massive 50% off you get on all TPG mobile plan fees for the first 6 months. That's right. For the first 6 months, get 12 gigs of data for just $10 a month, all on a no lock-in contract. TPG. New TPG mobile customers only. For use in Oz, $20 a month after the first 6 months. T's and C's apply.
Buy the Herald Sun for your chance to win one of 2 Crusader caravans, plus over $97,000 worth of runner-up camping prizes from G'day Parks and Dometic. Starts this Sunday. Conditions apply.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Tilers and builders, National Tiles have increased our trade range by a staggering 541 new products. That's right, 541 additional new National Tile trade products. No other tile company in Australia offers the range of trade products that you'll find at National Tiles. So for all your tiles, adhesives, grouts, silicons, tools, tile cutting machines and more, go to nationaltiles.com.au now.
Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman. Save up to $600 on selected Miele laundry packs, like the perfectly paired Miele 8kg front loader and 8kg heat pump dryer, now $3,798. Bonus $200 cash back on Samsung pack. Huge 12kg washer and 8kg dryer, just $2,694. Receive up to a bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs from all the big brands: LG, Fisher & Paykel, Electrolux, Westinghouse, Hisense, Haier and Ariston. Cashback via redemption. Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
Yeah, it's half-time and a packed gabba here tonight. It's a 6-point lead to the Tigers. They're 9-5-59. Brisbane Lions 8-5-53 after it was all tied up at quarter time. Scores were level. Barry Dennis, Simon Black, Daisy Thomas, Liam Flanagan in the box with Ethan Meldrum. This is the half-time break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. Eth, what do the stats tell you at half-time with the Tigers up by 6 points.
Well, it lifted in the last 10 minutes for both sides. Pressure factor AFL average is 180. Brisbane went at 223. Richmond went at 215. So both sides cracked right in the last 10 minutes of that quarter. 8 lead changes as well, of course, to half-time. But Richmond, Daisy caught it during the second quarter. Already 5 goals from forward half turnover so far. 9 intercept marks to 4. That's where they've got their advantage so far. The leading players on the ground, Lachie Neale, 20 disposals, 9 clearances. He's the number 1 ranked player on the ground, chucking 4 score involvements as well. McCluggage has 14 touches and a goal. Daniel McStay, 13 disposals, 9 in that second term, 5 score involvements for him too. For Richmond, Tyler Sonzi, 15 disposals to half-time, 4 score involvements, 4 clearances as well. Daniel Rioli, their number 1 ranked player, 13 disposals and a goal.
Well, just a cracking half of footy, really, Blackie. The pressure was high. It's everything we hoped for coming into this game, and they've absolutely delivered both sides. Both sides at stages having moments of dominance. We spoke a lot in that first quarter about the Tigers being really well set up behind the ball. They got that again in the second quarter. But in between that, the Lions' ability to get their own turnovers, go back fast, get some good look at it, and just footy being played out there. High intensity, lots of contests, both sides just ripping in.
Oh, absolutely. What a treat it is to be here live for this contest. It is red hot. That footy is, you don't have a second to get rid of it, do you? It's just a superb contest. And, yeah, Richmond set up behind the board to get those turnovers and come back at Brisbane have been fantastic. They've had the 10 marks inside forward 50 to Brisbane, only 4 at half-time. So their ability to sort of set back and come back at their opposition, as we've seen them do for so long now. They've got their game in red-hot form, and they've done that really well to get this 6-point lead at half-time. The middle of the ground, it's a fascinating contest. Lachie Neale's had the 9 clearances. It'd be interesting. I'm not sure who their designated run-with player Richmond would have, whether it's a Jaden Short or Trent Cotchin would go to him. But it's a really interesting one at the moment that will Richmond come out after half-time and try to nullify his influence. They are only down by a couple with the clearances, but it's a great battle around the middle of the ground.
I think that's something the Tigers certainly have to discuss, at least putting more time into him pre and then just the first probably 15-20 metres at post-stoppage, because he is so good at following up in and around. He may not get the first possession, but his movement means that he's also there for a second receive, and that's where he's getting quite a bit of the footy. The other one we've been keeping a close eye on is the big boys up each end. Tom Lynch and Harris Andrews. We were sort of intrigued coming into this one how that matchup would go. And then up the other end, we thought it was going to be Joe Danaher that may be taking this one by the scruff of the neck. But as it's turned out, he's gone into the ruck, and it's been Eric Hipwood who's really emerged up there as the big presence for the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, it has. And coming to the game, we knew these two sides ranked number 1 and 2 for offensive hitting the scoreboard, and that's what we're getting, 59 to 53 at half-time. It's a fantastic spectacle. It's an amazing contest, and it's a great treat to be here.
I think for the Lions too, there's so many opportunities to explore the open side of the ground. We know the Tig's pressure has been really high, but as the sting goes out of this one, there's been opportunities for them to switch, but they've gone the first 45 kick and then have gone straight through and tried to go straight through that Richmond defence. If you can just get one more to spread the field, the opportunities to then go inside forward 50 with good, clean looks become really prevalent.
I think you're spot on. Brisbane only the 4 marks inside 50 to half-time. AF average, I think it's about 12, 13, Ethan. So it's, they're a bit light on at the moment, that area. Spreading the field, cutting, changing angles will allow that opportunity forward.
Sting might come out in the second half, but there are some fresh legs out there for both sides. Both teams having activated their medi-subs. Let's get down to Belinda Mellon and Bob Jones team Arts. B, just remind us of what happened in that first half.
Well, I tell you what, it was certainly action-packed. Oscar McInerney in his 100th game, poor fellow, copped a head knock, head right back into his face, smashed his nose across his face, and he was knocked out and subbed out in the third minute of the game. Of course, the medi-sub was Kalamachi. He came in. Noah Cumberland, he disappeared down into the rooms with just a few minutes before that halftime break with a problem with his left shoulder. The doctor re-emerged, interestingly, but he did not. So we'll keep close eyes on him to see if he joins the warm-up in the second half. Dion Prestia was the player who was subbed out, though, with a hamstring injury. Incredibly disappointed as he came from the field. He just walked straight to the back of the box, shook his head and said no to the team doctors. It was very, very apparent to him that he was done and dusted for the night. So that brought their medi-sub Shane Edwards into the game. Maurice Rioli, also worth keeping eyes on. He had a problem with his right ankle that was strapped, and he continued to play throughout the game, but doctors checked in and out with him in that second quarter. Dan Rioli, a knock to the left knee. Also, doctors were keeping a close eye on him, and he was a little hobbled late in that second term, but of course played on throughout into the halftime break.
Thanks, B. It's hard to know. I mean, you lose McInerney in the first. That's Brisbane in the first couple of minutes. Now Richmond have lost Prestia. I mean, both have huge structural changes for both sides. Key players in a big final.
And I think from a match committee point of view, you go through and you try and throw up as many situations coming into a game. You know, what happens if a big forward goes down? Very rarely would you be planning for a ruckman to go down in the first minute. But no doubt, because they haven't rolled with the second ruckman as the sub like they have in the past, they obviously have a plan in place if that is. So no doubt they weren't ready or wanting to activate it at the 3rd minute mark. But that's something they would have crossed off in their pre-match and everything in planning coming into this one, Blackie.
And it's fortunate that Brisbane go with the 3 tours up there with McStay, Hipwood and Danaher. And Danaher and McStay are waxing together that ruck duty. Danaher hasn't played much ruck throughout the year because he's had a shoulder issue, and they've been very reluctant to want to play him up there around the ball. But he's doing a good job to compete in the first half.
And Prestia, obviously a key midfielder. We heard during the call, as Flanner said, that 4th time he's been subbed out this year with soft tissue injuries, but he is a big blow. I mean, that whole midfield structure, Blackie, as you would know very well, just changes all of a sudden. And no doubt at half-time, Dimmer's going to be having a bit of a chat about that with his match committee.
Well, it's interesting. Would you rather lose a ruckman or a quality midfielder? And second half, when the game opens up for a run, you'd probably say you'd probably rather lose a ruckman, I guess. I mean, I don't get any shorter as the game goes on, days, I should say. But the ability to run and cover the ground is very important, as we know. So, yeah, very, very interesting angle. I'm not sure I answered your question there, Baz.
That's all right. I always after tough ones, Slacky. Very tough ones. So I'm like a real sort of George Negus style. That's what I do. Amy Clangers, we love them. Who covers Clangers on and off the field? Amy does. What have they served up for us at halftime?
Ross taken high in a tackle. Free kick. Tigers take advantage. None to be taken. Oh, I don't know if Tim Hardwick will like that decision. And then he's beating him holding the football. Tim has just punched the hole in the glass.
That's 50.
Oh, no. Tim is coming down from the box.
Oh, Dimmer.
He's furious.
Oh.
Dimmer has blown a gasket. He's gone Eddie Maguire red.
Yeah.
And I do feel for him. I'm not sure that was a fair advantage rule, Baz.
No, he's filthy. It was Flanners. The Hardwick family want your number. Tigers 9-5-59 to the Lions 8-5-53. Half-time break here at the Gabba. A ripping elimination final to start finals footy. Richmond up by 6 points. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water Triple M Rocks finals footy.
That halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
The finals are a time for big questions.
There's a conspiracy around about the Mackay boys, okay? And I believe it.
And the Saturday Rub goes straight to the source for the answers.
Mrs. Mackay, can you confirm you delivered twin boys, Ben and Harry?
You have my youngest son, Charlie, convinced that there's only one.
Join the Temper Mattress call team Saturday from noon for the Saturday Rub. For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
The Monopoly game at Macca's is back, with $578 million in prizes to be won. Prizes like free fuel for a year with Ampol, a $10,000 Webjet gift card, and more. Download the My Macca's app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Installery, Installery, Installery.
For the hottest of hot water you've ever seen. Ream comes on steady, hot and strong. It just keeps on and on.
Ream's been proudly manufacturing here in Australia for over 80 years.
Install a Ream. Install a Ream.
So ask your plumber for Ream, Australia's #1.
Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman. Save up to $600 on selected Miele laundry packs, like the perfectly paired Miele 8kg front loader and 8kg heat pump dryer, now $3,798. Bonus $200 cash back on Samsung pack. Huge 12kg washer and 8kg dryer, just $2,694. Receive up to a bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs from all the big brands: LG, Fisher & Paykel, Electrolux, Westinghouse, Hisense, Haier and Ariston. Cashback by redemption. Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman.
The Listener app is the new home of Triple M footy.
Oh, yes!
And you'll find every Triple M call
The mountain is climbed!
of every AFL game.
Big atmosphere here tonight.
everywhere.
We're at the Triple MCG. Party time at the Gabba. Game on and off the stadium.
No matter where you are, stream the Triple M Footy Call live. Download the Listener app now. Sign up, choose your team, and you won't miss a game of the AFL season.
Listener.
Every year, we help thousands of people like you control their gambling. So, we get that every story is different. We get there might be setbacks along the way. We get that you might need lots of support or just the odd call. To change the way you think about gambling, call someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help on 1800 858 858 or visit the Gamblers Help website.
It might sound like our bathroom is quickly becoming a water hazard, but in my mind, I'm on the green in paradise, patting for the win.
Rather be on holiday? Get there with Jetstar's Spring Sale. There's heaps of great fares like Melbourne Tullamarine to Newcastle from $59 or Bangkok from $185. Ends midnight Eastern Standard Time, 4th September unless sold out prior. Excludes checked baggage, selected travel dates and conditions apply. Jetstar. All day, every day low fares.
The Monopoly game at Macca's is back with $578 million in prizes to be won. Prizes like free fuel for a year with Ampol, a $10,000 Webjet gift card and more. Download the My Macca's app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
Ah, yes, half-time break coming to a close at a packed Gabba. 9-5-59 the Tigers, the Lions 8-5-53. Tigers by 6 points after the scores were level at quarter time with Blackie and Daisy Thomas in the box. Choice Hotels around the grounds with Ethan Meldrum. Need a break? Book direct and save with Choice Hotels. ChoiceHotels.com. Eth, it's a massive weekend of finals footy.
Yeah, it's enormous. Melbourne versus Sydney tomorrow night. Friday huddle leading into that one from 6, of course. Saturday rub from 12. Port Adelaide v Western Bulldogs from Alberton leading into Geelong v Collingwood at the MCG. And then straight after that, Fremantle versus the Western Bulldogs at Optus Stadium.
Triple M footy's got it all covered. This is the half-time break for Bosch Power Tools. It's coming to a close, not far away from action here. It will be the Beacon Trade scoreboard this term, supporting tradies with over 120 stores nationwide, expert trade teams and exclusive trade services, a huge range of lights, fans and electrical accessories, making every tradie's job easier. Beacon Trade, let's make light work. Thank you, Daisy.
No worries,
Daisy and Blackie, Lions moving into position. Tigers not too far away. Expectations from what you've seen in the first half, what are we going to see in the second?
Well, the finals games, Baz, like a lot of the home and away, but more so in finals, it's who can sustain it for longer. So we've seen in the first half sides having their patches of dominance, upping the pressure, and both sides being able to manage that, hit the scoreboard, or just hang around and break even in those critical moments. In the second half, that's exactly what you need to do. So you can't give up 3 or 4 quick ones and then catch yourself behind the 8 ball and chasing. So who can sustain it for long enough? I think right now the Tigs would be very happy with what they've done and the way they've played their game, got it into an arm wrestle. But conversely, with the Lions, Blackie, they have to be pumped with what they've dished up, considering it feels like right now the Tigers have thrown everything at them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the way the Brisbane are going forward, they're not getting a whole lot of looks in terms of marks inside forward 50. They can tidy it up with their change of angles and their ball movement like we spoke about. Then that'll give them opportunities to get those marks inside forward 50. Eric Hipwood looking as well as I've seen him play all year with the 3 goals to half time. And Danaher's competing well on the ruck. They've got a nice mix. I don't think the loss of Oscar McInerney is really hurting them too much at this point in time. So for Richmond, I mean, just admire the way they're going about, the way they're hunting Brisbane. They're forcing them to turn the ball over at times, and they're coming back at Brisbane and scoring really well, which they are ranked number 1 in the competition in the last month at doing so. So we've just got a magnificent contest here. Who can take their opportunities going forward?
And just having a look here as the Richmond players make their way out for this third quarter. Is that Dustin Martin we're seeing waltz into the centre bounce to kick this off here? It certainly is. The fluorescent boots are there. So Big Dusty has just said, Prestia out, I will come in and I will fill that hole dimmer. You're most welcome.
Bob Jane T-Mars down on the boundary line with Belinda Mellon. Bob Jane T-Mars look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free. plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 132625 or order online today, bobjane.com.au. Belinda.
Noah Cumberland has re-emerged with heavy strapping on his left shoulder, but he's starting the game on the bench, so we'll keep a close eye on him. And that is a right hamstring for Dion Prestia. Obviously had a lot of work on that during the break, but he has been subbed out of the game, gentlemen.
Both medical subs have been activated. It was scores are level at quarter time, half time, the main break. The Tigers lead by a goal, 59-53. The ball is back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water to get this second half underway. D. Martin for the Tigers is prowling the centre circle. Nankervis tapped it in his direction, couldn't get it down. McCluggage hunting it on hands and knees. Sonzi been really good. Neil probably been the best out there. Got it back to Coleman. Forward kick for the Lions. Hipwood got 3, looking for more. Tried to stiff arm the direct opponent, couldn't get away. Charlie Cameron wrapped up in a tackle. Back to Robinson, inside forward 50 now. Bailey must compete. Lost sight of the football. Floston didn't. Kept it in front. Floston only as far as Hipwood. Tapped it back to McCluggage. Wrapped up in a tackle by Sonzi. And we'll have a ball up 40 from the Lions goal.
Just keeping an eye on the champ, Dusty Martin. Have a look at him here. So now unopposed at half forward. So he's wandered into that centre bounce, but then as the ball's transitioned, he's gone forward and caught the Brisbane Lions napping.
Lions at half forward at the moment. McStay and Nankervis go up in the ruck. Tackle laid on McStay. Spills down to Lockie Neal. His hand pass smothered. And again, players from both sides roll around on the deck. There'll be another ball up. Still 45 out to 50 metres out from Brisbane's goal. They start the third quarter with a bit of purpose here. Putting their head over the footy. Just trying to get that early third quarter goal. They seem desperate at the moment. McStay first at the ball again. Edwards, the sub, on the ground for Prestia. Wins it for Richmond. Punches out a hand pass to Pickett. He's on the wing. Kicks it up towards that man Martin. Thumped out of his hands this time. Berry's got it on the wing for Brisbane. Hand pass to the running Starcevic. Kept the eyes low to half forward. Nice little short pass. It's taken by McStay, but his kick smothered. And it bounces for the Tigers at half back.
Wide, Pickett. Space on Berry. Dusty just telling him to kick it down the line. Lynch v Andrews is a one-on-one contest. The Tigers back in their spearhead. The Lions defender though resolute, and Harris Andrews been one of his better performances for a while. Simon Black fisted over the boundary line.
He has been fantastic aerially. He's competed really well at ground level at times, and he looks like he's back on top of his game.
Yes, there's plenty of talk, wasn't there, at Harris during the week, and he's so far done pretty well with Lynch. The one goal on the board, albeit in that second term. Boundary throw, and McStay doing the ruck work again, brings it to ground level. Players from both sides still smash the loose footy, punched out the side of the pack. Head over the footy, McCluggage wins it on the wing broadcast side. Punched out a hand pass that goes ends up with Bailey, then to Neal by hand. Sweeps a hand pass out wide to McCarthy. Dummies around Rioli beautifully. Kicks towards Danaher in the forward pocket, 2 to beat. Didn't really sit for him and easily punched out of bounds by the player who flew from behind in Nathan Broad. Well, the boundary thrown about 25 metres around from the Lions goal.
Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Dan Rioli won't want to see that one, Daisy.
Absolutely. Just walked his way through it. McCarthy, good play though, because Richmond owned the outside there, had to buy himself some time.
Ball up inside forward 50. Zorko flying through the contest from the throw-in. Kicked it goalward, didn't get the distance. Big tackle laid by the Lions. They want to keep it inside their forward 50 and we'll have a ball up top of the goal square. 6 points the margin, 59-53 the Tigers.
So still a big pack around the footy. Brisbane searching early in this third quarter for the opening goal. They trail by 6 points. Massive pack around it. Bailey sees the ball tapped his way towards the forward pocket. McIntosh gets in the way for Richmond, but he's pushed on his kick. Rich puts his head over it and got caught high. He's going to get a free kick.
He is bad. He's got clipped on the way through. Gets up a little bit ginger, but he's on his feet there. Kick it from about 54 metres out.
So he's got a beautiful thumping left foot. As Blackie said, it's about a 54-metre kick if he can get it, but he's real close to the boundary out of sight of the ground. So Daniel Rich, as the crowd sees the Harvey Norman replay, just got caught as Rewalt came through. The leg collected his head. And Rich spins the footy in his hand, starts to walk up to the 50-metre line, plays on, runs around in the arc. Long drop punt, has it got the distance? Real long right on the line. Danaher touched and through for a rush point. Tigers hang on to a 5-point lead on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard early stages third term.
Tigers bring it in near side, short. Down the line, Dusty v Gardner. Gardner, too strong on this occasion for Dusty. Maybe he is operating at 80% like Dimmer told us. McCluggage goes corridor. Zorko, the skipper, inboard. Doesn't give the Tigers fans the opportunity for the Bronx cheer. McStay, they keep it moving to the outer side. Rich with the footy again. Now he will on that left. It's a low penetrating kick. Well, that's about as good as you'll see.
Wow.
You'd have to look far and wide to find a better kick than that. And Link McCarthy will go back for a set shot, 45-degree angle, 20 out.
We get a good look at it here on the Harvey Norman. It's the changing angles that we asked for that's opened up that whole passage of play and the open side of the ground. So chipping it around forced the Richmond defenders to spread, and then that big hole of space opened up in the forward pocket.
This man knows how to kick a clutch goal. That's a tough sentence, Beth.
That is, yeah.
I won't use that one again. McCarthy on the runway, nails it.
Yep.
That's a clutch goal. Lions are in front. 9-6-60. They lead the Tigers 9-5-59. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon making every tradie's job easier.
Yeah, spot on, Days. The Lions there, just fortune favours the brave, really. They just chip through the middle of the ground from one wing to the other side, and a couple of times there looked a little bit dicey. They might have turned the ball over, but what it allowed with a bit of speed on the ball at the same time was that pocket, that other side of the ground pocket to be open. And Daniel Rich, that laser left foot of him, found his teammate Nick McCarthy sitting in about 20 metres of space. Beautifully done, beautiful ball movement.
It's the first time we've seen that from the Lions, really possess it for 3, 4, 5 kicks across the ground and forcing the Richmond defence to spread out. Obviously nice when you've got a bloke like Richie just delivering a 50-metre laser beam.
And Red Z leading stats, Daniel McStay, part of that chain as well. 16 disposals now in the ruck. Equal season high for him already.
For McDonald's, Arima Water, Triple M Rocks finals footy. Neil out of the centre. Long ball for Brisbane to full forward. Off hands, front and square. Lost it in the tackle. Kicked off the ground by Baker. Straight back to Neil.
This bloke's bought his own footy, Baz.
He has, and plays on quickly. Goes long to full forward. Dana! Look at him. Big Joe. Leapt up. Pryor picks it up in the pocket. Has a snap and hits the post. But it's a free kick to Richmond anyway. Joe went up about 3.5 minutes early. It was a beautiful leap on the Harvey Norman. Do you like the one, Blackie?
A little bit unrealistic, Baz, perhaps.
Yeah, a little bit.
As Tarrant plays on from the free kick. Lynch, he has been worn like a glove by Harris Andrews. Andrews sends it back inside forward 50. Hipwood couldn't take the footy, kept it moving forward. Dusty with a little bit of a dance. Put his teammate under some trouble. Inside forward 50. Hipwood sits on top. We're going to have a ball up. And the fire just burning a little bit in Dusty.
Brisbane feeling like they've lifted here, but Days.
They are. And Tigers just trying to search for the ball here. Lions are all over it. Hipwood grabs it out of the ruck, throws it onto his right boot, bangs it across the face of goal. Tracking the footy, trying to pick it up. Cumberland got an unkind bounce. Picked up by Bailey for Brisbane. Bounce into the forward pocket. McCluggage, Danaher. Danaher goes to ground. The umpire's blowing a whistle here. The umpire's blowing a whistle, pushing the back Richmond's way. Lions fans are up and about because they think they've scored a goal.
There's 50.
But Baker will take the free kick deep in the back pocket, is it? That is going to be Baker. And a Finney for the kick towards goal after the whistle was blown. So this will bring Baker virtually into the centre of the ground for Richmond.
Those players cannot hear the whistle right now.
No.
The noise at the Gabba in front of a full house, it's a sellout crowd, it is deafening. It feels like it's about a 50-50 split between Tigers fans and Lions fans here.
They've come in numbers, the Tigers.
And the players cannot hear the whistle. Lions a bit stiff to get a 50 there. Robbie Tarrant goes wide. Lynch finally clunks one. Andrews not far behind, and like all good defenders, just falls all over the back of him. So Tom Lynch has it, 55 from home, beyond his journey. In the goal square, you heard through the effects, Mike. Good advice came. McStay with a thump. Ross got it to McIntosh around the body, bending from the wingman. If you don't mind, Camden McIntosh. We might have to get Ethan to tell us just how many individual goal kickers there have been in this game, because there's been a lot. Tigers back in front, 65-60, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Oh, that was brilliant. Take a bow, Jack Ross. He instigated that goal. Ball went in, competed for in the air. Ground level, he got the ball in his hands. Could have really taken a bit of time. Had the nous to understand, just get it off quickly to McIntosh, and he snapped it truly. Jack Rice, well played.
Red Z leading stats. That's the 16th individual goal kicker so far tonight. 7 for the Lions, 9 for the Tigers. Also the 10th lead change of the game already.
Inside 50s this quarter, if you could, for Red Z Lending as well, please, Heath.
Inside 50, 7-1, Brisbane's way.
So there you go. So for all the dominance up one end of the ground from the Lions, the champs good enough to go back, find a way just to scrap a goal, and that's that sort of momentum. Not giving and conceding up one end, but then good enough to score a real goal against the play there.
Bob Jane, teammates beat.
Jack Rewalt's just come to the bench and had his left forefinger relocated by the doctor. Just sat there quite calmly as he put it back in place. Doctor's patching up now.
McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M Rocks finals footy. Brisbane out of the centre. Hand pass will come out to Robinson. Robinson went to kick and then elected not to. Hand pass to Neal. Got around Bolton. He's on forward 50. Just kept the eyes reasonably low because McStay came at him. And he's marked this just beyond 40 metres out. Probably about 41, but he'll go back with a very slight angle to have a shot for goal.
Brisbane, lovely composure there. Miss Robinson looked like he might have coughed the ball up, but good enough to find the champion, Lachie Neale. He just had a lovely little bit of composure to find McStay. McStay's been superb. He's really fitted this ruck roll, forward roll beautifully tonight. Come into his own.
Tigers have just reclaimed the lead. The Lions can now reclaim with a McStay goal. Left foot drop punt is through. It's through. Straight as a die. Jeez, this is a ripping game of footy. Brisbane back in front by a point. Anyone's game. 11 minutes third term. Lions 10-6-66. The Tigers 10-5-65. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
The Lions deserve that, Blackie. Reward for effort, really. They had the ball pinned in their forward half, and nothing's for free in this game. But as you said, they had their composure out of the centre clearance. A lot of players in Mitch Robertson's position there would have been caught up and gone long to a dangerous spot. He knew he had the outnumber. They thought their way through it beautifully, and well done to McStay going back. A really important goal for his side.
Red Z leading stats, getting a little bit silly from Lachie Neale. 28 disposals, 12 clearances already, 11 disposals clear of any player on the ground.
Red Z lending loans for the self-employed. Ethan Meldrum basically on Lachie Neale watch. Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Remont Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Joe Danaher doing a turn as the big man for the Lions. Martin feeds Cochin. How often did we hear that over the years? And they hit up Tommy Lynch. Well, that's a premiership passage that we've seen many a time before. Martin to Cochin, out of the middle. Lynch on the lead, and he'll go back to put the Tigers in front again.
I tell you what, Flanners, these centre bounce clearances tonight are absolutely all important. There's so many goals. Ethan will tell us how many goals have been kicked out of centre bounce, but as we know with the 6-6-6 these days, they are absolutely critical.
Tommy Lynch already got one. The definition of a seesawing affair. The big Tiger spearhead. Used to live in this part of the world, but he bleeds yellow and black now. He's got two. The Tigers are back in front. 71-66, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Still got 12 and a half minutes of the third term to go. So much footy ahead of us, Ethan.
Yeah, Red Z leading stats. That's the 5th goal from a centre bounce clearance so far tonight. Blackie, 3 for the Lions, 2 for the Tigers so far tonight.
And we were expecting a shootout coming into this one, and history tells us that finals don't usually get this high scoring. I tell you what, it's looking like every time either side goes forward, there are real opportunity to score. Highly entertaining game of footy, and these centre clearances you were just touching on, Blackie, becoming very, very important. Dusty Martin in the role he's playing in there, just lurking around and then spinning forward. The Lions have to be super vigilant on that. But now Joe Danaher gets a chance up against the second-rung Miller in the ruck against him.
Lead changes, Heath.
I'm going to have to be on record once again. That's number 12 for the game so
12
far.
for the game, Heath. We're 13 and a half into the third term. For McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M Rocks finals footy.
Joe Danaher just not watching the ball in the ruck. Baz gave away the free kick.
Big Miller. Benny Miller will get the free kick. Goes shortly out of side to Bolter. He's on the wing. Goes further wide to Tarrant. And he marks still on the wing out of sight of the ground. Richmond looking to set up again. They lead by 5 points. They've reclaimed the lead. 14th third term. Big leap from Rewald in the pack off his hands. It goes out of bounds. 35 metres around from the Tigers' goal. An elimination final that as yet we cannot call. 13 and a half minutes. Make it 14 and a half runners into the third term.
How you feeling, Baz?
I'm okay. A little bit. Heart's going a bit flat.
We got a lot to go. Quarter and a half of this.
Keep an eye on me.
All right, keep an eye on you as Coleman clears the fence for the Lions. Hipwood got 3, dropped the chest mark, probably could have taken. Still hunting the football. 3-4 efforts from the big line forward. Kept in by McIntosh. Clean hands, Lockie Neal. Absolute superstar of this sport. Short sends it back inside forward 50 for the Tigers. Payne, Rewalt, neither of them watching the footy. Rewalt, he's only down to 9 fingers. He was still clever enough with 9, and Big Joe's about to get run down. Kick just got to Pryor.
That was laconic.
Oh, Joe, get a hurry along, will you?
Pryor plays on from half back. Oh, he's kicked wide out here to the boundary. Baker, did he keep it in? Just for Richmond. He was set up for it. Hand pass to Ross, who's tackled out of bounds. So a boundary throw in. Just forward of the wing, broadcast side of the ground. Forward of the wing for Richmond. We'll have a 5-point lead. 15 and a half minutes now into the third term. Footy spins back in. Danaher in the ruck. Miller with him. Slapped it down to the midfielders. Pryor goes at it. McCluggage. Edwards, bottom of the pack for Richmond. Tried to thump it forward. Kicked off the ground by Short. Inside forward 50. Oh, there he is. Dusty Martin tracks it to the boundary line. Gardner did well. Right on his hammer. And just forced the ball out of bounds 40 metres around from Richmond's goal.
Got a touch lucky there, Gardner. There was a little bit of a parachute with the jumper as they were fighting for the ball near the boundary. The Tiger Army in front of us here, they certainly saw it. They went up as one.
Didn't they what?
It's the Dustin Martin panic zone. Triple M Seabus Super special comment. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Daisy Thomas, Simon Black know what it takes to win these big games as Dev Robertson sees it over the boundary line for a boundary throw in the exact same spot. Don't forget, you can score a 1 in 4 chance to win with the Monopoly game at Macca's. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au. 71-66. The Tigers lead. Miller, he disposed of Danaher. Not a lot of ruck craft between these two. Free kick going the way of the Lions.
Coming off the ball, this one. Young Wilmot it was. Had the roll on Cumberland.
Hand pass to Danaher, but his kick was smothered. Spills to Cumberland, 45 out. Kicks the forward pocket deep. Look at Morris Rioli. Look at him go, run around, he's kicked the goal. Ran from the boundary line, broke a tackle. Morris, you start. He's been on tonight. Dangerous from the word go. Tigers 12-5-77. The Lions 10-6-66. Richmond back out to an 11-point lead. 17th third term Peak and Trade scoreboard.
How's the footwork? How was the footwork, Daisy?
He disappeared. I can't wait to see the Harvey Norman replay as to who was trying to corral him and then make a tackle. But as he's lunged to tackle, he's genuinely disappeared in that forward pocket on the goal line and then bobbed up on the goal line, kicked the goal. The free kick was from Wilmot, so it was he and Cumberland who were going at it off the ball. Cumberland disposed of him. And then again, Joe Danaher, just laconic off half-back, not good enough.
Cost his team in that situation.
Absolutely, but we have a look here. Kaneen Coleman it was. Oh, wow. Did everything right, pinned him in along the boundary, just forgot to get a glove on him in the end.
Triple M Harvey Norman replay, bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs now at Harvey Norman. Ball back in the middle. And here come the Lions. This is how the game's been all evening. Back and forth, seesawing. McStay inside forward 50. Lions hunting the footy. Mitch Robinson, probably a throw. Got it to Pryor. Squared the booty up. Over the top, no. Well read there by Rioli. Then he handballed to nobody. Sonzi. That might be deliberate umpire. Sonzi, the teenager, got away with one there. Minor score to the Lions.
Brisbane press. Richmond repel. Gibcus from fullback. Long ball back out of the wing to Martin, who led up. Defensive side he marks. He goes, he ignores Cumberland. He went to Lynch at half forward. He dropped the mark now. Harris Andrews comes in on him. Good closing speed. Lynch kicked it off the ground. The ball rolled out of bounds. And the Lions want to deliver it. The umpire said throw it in, and Harris Andrews is filthy. So the Tigers lock it around from their goal. 30 metres around. Broadcast side, they go to the right about broadcast position in this third quarter. And they have a 10-point lead.
The ruck work going to be done by Miller and McStay. Miller wins it down. Coleman looking to make amends for the embarrassment. Morris Rioli put him through as Lynch goes back with the flight. Good mark taken. Squares the footy up, finds Baker. Baker 70 from home. Numbers flooded back for the Lions. Looking to put a stop to this run from the Tigers. Big fly. Then standing up in the pack was Miller. Dusty Martin stepped through traffic, gave it back to Miller. Handball was intercepted by Robinson off the ground. Fell into the arms of Short. High. Stand up to that one, he says, boys. Could have been fisted through. Instead, it's going to be kept in for a boundary throwing inside the Tigers forward 50, 77-67 with 8.5 to play third term.
Jesus, this is a bruising contest as you'd expect in a big final like this. Darcy Garner just getting up gingerly from yet another massive contest here at the full back line.
Boundary throw-in, hugged up against the Tigers' point post. Miller in the ruck, slaps it down. Who's behind? Little toe poke off the ground, ends up with Berry for Brisbane. Finds a bit of space, drills the ball to the outer side win. Hipwood's got a few to beat and won't do so. Spills to Loston, who's close to the boundary. And he rolls out of bounds with a footy. There'll be another boundary throw-in out of side. 10 points the margin. Richmond lead, 20 minutes third term, and the crowd just absolutely on the edge of their feet here at the Gabba.
Absolutely loving it. Barry Denner, Liam Flanagan, Simon Black, Daisy Thomas, Ethan Meldrum, Belinda Mellon. That's your call team. What is turning out to be an absolute belter of an elimination final between the Lions and the Tigers on a Thursday night at the Gabba as Coleman tackles Morris Rioli. A little bit of feeling in that. Still stinging from the embarrassment. Morris put a step on him. Kicked a ripping goal. It's given the Tigers a 10-point lead, 77-67.
The Tigers with a dynasty. The Lions desperate to win a big final and remain in contention. Boundary throw in Robertson, who he's put his teammate Starcevich under the pump with that hand pass. And he's been pinged for holding the ball. Ripping tackle from Cochin. But Trent Cochin, about 65 from home, called the play on. Goes to the pocket. In front. No mark taken by Cumberland. Lynch at the back. Hand pass Morris Rioli. Hand pass to Short. Short's in the forward pocket. Goes back to the big man, Nan Curvis, who has a loping shot at goal. Pryor drops back between the goal and point post and marks for Brisbane. Goes real short to Matheson, who marks still in the back pocket.
Yeah, just the required distance. Matheson went back to Pryor there, crabbing their way along the boundary line near side of the Gabba. Starcevich has just picked himself up on the other side of the field. Stayed down for a while. Payne now, the switcher play on for the Lions. Thumping kick, good one. Found Berry. Getting back well was Pickett. Nankervis, Pickett, slung around in a tackle by Coleman. Advantage taken. Here come the Lions. Berry inside forward 50. Lockie Neal, well, that's the first time he's had his colours lowered all night by Floston. Spoil, Ross, Tigers rebound. Good mark taken by Rewalt.
Jeez, how was that closing speed from Floston, Dave?
Incredible. He's been superb.
Unbelievable. Richmond have it on the wing. Goes short with a kick, and the mark taken by Morris Rioli, who's on fire in this third quarter. Goes short to Ross. Jack Marks plays on. Sees the lead in the pocket. That's where he's gone. And look at it. It's the big fella Lynch, who snuck out in front of Harris Andrews, just a half a metre away. He's marked 30 out.
Unbelievable midfield and forward connection there from the Tigers. Once they had the ball at 70 out, Lynch just went back and leant on Harris Andrews with a finger back in the big pocket of space. We get a look at it here on the Harvey Norman. One little push off as he turned. Just the ball was almost there waiting for him. Brilliant stuff. Missed opportunity up the other end from the line zone.
Lynch spins the foot in his hand. He's kicked two for his third goal on a Tigers 16-point lead. Drop punt is good. 35-metre drop punt. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. And the Tigers are out to a 16-point lead, 23 minutes into the third term on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, it's a big moment here for the Brisbane Lions. They need to find something. The Tigers have got the momentum. There's no doubt about that in the last 10 or 15 minutes, and their ability again to turn the ball over and go back at Brisbane. Re-entries back inside forward 50 and have that connection has been very strong the last 15 minutes, Days.
It certainly has been. Brisbane just seeming like they want to do it one step too far. So they had the switch on there. Payne got the ball, could have connected the field with a 30-metre kick. Instead, he went the high loopy one, which brought Pickett into it. They then took the advantage. They could have connected the field again, went the longer one, which set up just a touch too long for Lockie Neal. Lost in good enough. So just got to keep your head here. Take the easy option, which is often the best option in these big pressure moments.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy. 16 points the margin in favour of the Tigers. Ball back in the middle. Nankervis going up against McStay, here come the Tigers again, but jumping into space. First gamer, Darcy Wilmot. Young man likes the occasion. Kicked a goal in that second term. Gave the crowd a bit of a rev up. Got it to Zorko. Zorko to Rich. Now they're taking the short option. Daisy Thomas called for them. Rich goes back to Zorko. They've crept up to just backward of centre here. Zorko again sees something short he likes, but Shea Bolton got in the way. And then Morris Rioli got the footy, and he takes off and runs. Wants Lynch. Andrews read this one. Big fist. Lynch turns around, gives Morris a bit of a mouthful. Should have gone and got the footy. That's what Andrews did, and he finds Coleman.
Yeah, good work from Harris Andrews. Short pass over to Coleman. And a 50-metre penalty. What was that for, Dave?
Just over, encroached the mark.
He said stand, you props, he said stand, and then you move.
There
Stay
you
out.
go.
No,
There's the explanation. Umpires marked up exclusively for Triple M. I like what the Lions have gone into now. They're a little bit more kick mark and now taking territory.
Coleman searches, long ball to full forward. Tarrant with a big fist on it. It's still inside forward 50 from Brisbane. Berry and Pickett go at it. Pickett got there first. Berry lays the tackle. Pickett hung onto the footy, but his hand pass went straight to Robertson. Hand pass over the top. Charlie Cameron runs from the forward pocket. Banana rewards goal. He's done it. He's got two. Oh, he had some pace and he got away from them. Snuck away. And the Lions are back to within 10 points. 25 and a half third term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Oh, exactly what Brisbane needed. No doubt about that. Young Jack Cumberland, Noah Cumberland, I should say, on the back half-back flank here, Daisy, gave away that 50-metre penalty, which allowed that attacking 4-8 forward for the Lions to get inside forward 50. And Charlie Cameron has looked very dangerous tonight when it's gone in there. Ability, when the ball hits ground level, none better in the competition than mop it up and get after, and that's exactly what he did. Drove his legs through. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay. Really well played. Brisbane really needed that, and I need another one quickly as well.
Really good maturity from the Lions, though. We spoke a lot in the pre-game about how they've given up big scores in bunches, and it was looking like the Tigers having all that ascendancy, that they were one goal almost away from breaking this well and truly open. They went into kick mark, really like it, took a bit of the sting out, but also took territory when required.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy. Free kick going to the Tigers. McIntosh going to be the recipient. Berry called to stand on the mark. McIntosh plays on, drives inside forward 50. Rewalt and Lynch, that famous partnership in the red and black, can't win out. Fist to the boundary line, boundary throw in. 10 points the margin, 83 plays 73 with 4.5 to play third term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Harvey Norman replay, Chris Fagan down on his bench, surveying some stats. As the ball spins back in here. Oh, Nankervis grabs it out of the ruck. McStay fell over. Big Nank has a shot from 30, but he's hooked it. And kicks a point for the Tigers. 11 points up Richmond, 27 and a half third term.
Every moment of this game feels pivotal. Rich with the footy in his hands, just assessing his options. And again, following the Daisy Thomas playbook and choosing to chip short. Maintain possession. Zorko starting to get busy as the Lions adopt this strategy. Goes wide, finds Andrews. Andrews comes back to Rich. Possessing the football, but they are deep in their D50. It's a dangerous place with the likes of Rioli and Bolton lurking. There's a bloke by the name of Dusty Martin as well. Rich drives to the outer side. Good fly. Close late from Pickett. Here's that turnover. Edwards, the Medi sub, inside forward 50. McCluggage got back. Took the mark for the Lions.
She's defending hard, Brisbane. Tigers searching. McCluggage had Berry across half back. He elected to go back out to the outer side wing, and again it's a turnover.
It's a late presser from Morris Rioli. That was superb.
So Pickett has taken the mark. He goes short to Vlosten. And only the 15 minutes on the boundary line, 65 out. Squares it up inboard to Baker. Tigers in possession. They have possession of the lead by 11 points. 28 and a half third term. Baker looks inside forward 50. Lynch fell over. Rewalt works his way to the front. 15 minutes from Richmond's goal. Morris Rioli lurks. Lays a tackle on Berry. Lays a tackle on Berry. And what's the umpire's call? He's going to ball it up. He's going to ball it up. Still 15 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
Ball up. Another tackle laid on Dustin Martin. We just heard Jared Berry there literally pleading for a free kick, Daisy.
Harvey Norman replay well within his rights too. Genuine headlock was put on him. No free kick awarded.
Ball up. We're inside the Tigers forward 50. Dusty's lurking. He got boot to ball. It's not going to get the journey though. Edwards tried a little Charlie Cameron tap on. Didn't come off. Boundary throw in now. Right forward pocket for the Tigers. 11 points the margin. 84-73. 2.5 to play third term. We've still got another quarter, Baz.
This has been a fantastic night of footy at the Gabba. And the Tigers close to three-quarter time, having it there into the ground. McCluggage just attacked the ball from the boundary throw-in, burst through the pack for Brisbane. Kick into the centre to Bailey. Bailey gets around a couple. Eyes dart left. Wants to still play on. Runs his full 15. Hand pass over to Cameron inside forward 50. Punched into the forward pocket. Gibcus was there. Grabbed it for Richmond. He fell over. He slipped. Spills to Robertson. Has a snap. Has he got it? I think he has. It's a goal. Oh, you give either side an inch and they take a bloody mile. 12-7-79 the line. 13-6-84 the Tigers. You cannot blink. 30.5 into the third term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
What a passage of play. Zachy Bailey, what a game. But what a passage of play. The kick out, just a hack kick under pressure from McCluggage. And then Zachy Bailey, 3 to beat. He was good enough. He went in there, found the ball, but his composure knocks it on. And then from there, just the pressure that they were able to transfer into that Richmond defence. Unbelievable scenes, Lucky.
You're never out of it, are you, Days? If you're willing to turn up, compete, and keep fighting like you see here from Brisbane, this passage of play. Devon Robertson, the goal kicker in the end, but Charlie Cameron pressure, Zach Bailey pressure, absolutely superb. What a game of football.
Scores were level at quarter time. 6 points to the Tigers at half time. Now it is 5 points the margin to Richmond as Nate Curvis sends it back inside forward 50. Dusty's in a wrestle. Tapped it to Edwards. Edwards got it to Sonzi. And Robinson went through him. Miss Robinson just destroyed teenage Tyler. And he's given away a free kick as a result. And Sonzi, who has had a ripping game, will go back and kick from 40 out directly in front.
Oh, Daisy, that's the silly stuff that really annoys Chris Fagan. That's one of the reasons he's been left out of the side, Robbo. He needs to taper his aggression, needs to be the right Miss Robbo, not giving away silly free kicks. And it was clearly going to be a disposal, and you were clearly going to turn up late. That's really disappointing. You see Chris Fagan here on the screen. He's really frustrated by it.
Tyler Sonzi. Zave Clark told us this was a young man to look out for pre-game, and he is proving to be every little bit of that. Nails it. Margin stretches back out to 11 points on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard with 1:20 to play. And Mitch Robinson, who there are whispers he might retire if the Lions lose tonight, must be thinking, what did I do?
Well, it's a great response from the Tigers. It really is, because the crowd was really starting to get involved. But it's on the back of nothing really special. Mitch Robinson, just a genuine brain fart there. He was always going to be laid on it. No need to do it. The umpires are always going to play that. No, it's not tough. It's not hard. If anything, it's just silly. It's cost yourself a goal. The beauty for Mitch now is he's got another quarter and a bit to try and make amends. We know he was effort in and around the contest. You can't question it ever. Just the thinking process there, you certainly have to question.
Cost your side, doesn't it? Cost your side dramatically in a big moment in a big game.
Seabar super special comments, Daisy Thomas and Simon Black. The others just walked away when they saw them walk into the box. They just gave up. For McDonald's and Ream Water Triple M, Rocks finals footy. Out of the centre go the Tigers. Robinson at half-back for Brisbane. Long ball to half-forward. Bailey taps it down to a teammate who lost it. Bailey went back and picked it up. Hand pass Danaher. Big Joe from 50. Big Joe! Oh, look at Joe! He didn't even smile. This is how serious it is. He's got a determined look on his face. It's game on at the Gabba. The Lions are back to within 5 points, 33.5, third term Beacon Trade.
Oh, gee, I've been to some games of footy here at the Gabba. This is right up there as one of the best I've ever seen. This contest is something else.
Does that make up for it for Mitch Robertson? His was the hack kick forward. Is that the instant reply?
He's a champion.
I tell you what, if you're Mitch Robertson, and I know Mitch, he'd be sitting there going, yeah, that cancels it out, that cancels it out. Don't worry about that, folks. But again, off the back of taking an easy option in terms of territory, but as you said, Blackie, you turn up and you compete, you don't know what happens. The overlap run and spread from the contest now, and it's the Brisbane Lions ruckman who were spreading on top of the ground. Nankervis been pretty much one out against the two of them, McStay and Danaher. Now it's the Brisbane Lions ruckman across the ground looking more dangerous.
Red Z leading stats, Joe Danaher, now the 21st individual goal kicker so far tonight.
Oh, everybody's getting on the score sheet. Names in the paper all around. Nankervis, handball to McIntosh. The tackles are heating up now. Berry, McCluggage been massive in this third term. Zorko landed in the lap of Nank. The Richmond skipper will thump it high. You wonder whether Jack Rewalt wants a piece of this. He tried to get it, Payne fisted it away. Now Bolton, watch the fancy footwork. Well, Shea Bolton is human. And Starcevich gets into it.
Yes.
A little bit on in back play, and Dusty comes waltzing over.
Dusty, be careful. Rich in the back pocket will bring it back in. What have we got left, Flanners, in this third
20
quarter?
seconds, Baz.
So Rich bombs it back out into the wing. McStay, big fist on it, but it's gone the wrong way. Bailey Breen again in the clinches. Slapped it out towards Lockie Neal. Hand pass back to McStay. Left foot ball forward to the wing. Big Eka Hipwood goes up at it. It's tapped out of his hands by Gipkus, who slapped it out of bounds. Boundary throw in on the wing broadcast side.
That'll see us out. 3 seconds left in this quarter, boys, and what a quarter it's been.
Tigers 14-6-90. The Lions 13-7-85. It'll be a 5-point lead to Richmond as the three-quarter time siren sounds, and we have got one hell of a final term coming up after this from the Gabba. Winner goes into week 2. The loser's season comes to an end. The Tigers with a 5-point lead over the Brisbane Lions. And we got 1 quarter to go. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M, Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
catch a big feed this game day with the quarter pounder range, only at Macca's.
This Triple M listener has won $10,000 by listening to the Marty Sheargold Show.
Aaron, you've won 10 grand.
And this listener...
Aaron, you've won $10,000.
And this listener...
Oh my God! You've won 10 grand, Jared.
Yeah, you beauty. Oh, and here's another one.
Well done. 10 grand.
I don't believe it. Triple M's $10,000 vault.
Now at 7:10 every morning.
On Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
If there's one sound that means it's September, you'd agree this is it. And nothing goes better with footy finals than a thirsty camel. Bottle shop, that is. Whether you're watching the game at home or celebrating with mates, Thirsty Camel has everything you need with great specials on your favourite beers, wines and spirits. The Camel is calling this September. Find your local at thirstycamel.com.au. Hydrate responsibly.
What about cleaners?
Yep.
Mechanics?
Uh-huh.
Builders?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever hard work you do, Cbus are making your money work as hard as you.
Power workers?
Yep.
Factory workers?
Mm-hmm.
What about truckies?
What do you think?
Cbus Super, making hard work pay off. To consider if Cbus is right for you, go to cbussuper.com.au for a PDS and TMD. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman. Save up to $600 on selected Miele laundry packs, like the perfectly paired Miele 8kg front loader and 8kg heat pump dryer, now $3,798. Bonus $200 cash back on Samsung pack. Huge 12kg washer and 8kg dryer, just $2,694. Receive up to a bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs from all the big brands: LG, Fisher & Paykel, Electrolux, Westinghouse, Hisense, Haier and Ariston. Cash back via redemption. Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
Hey, it's Daisy Thomas. Are you ready to get that winning feeling? The Monopoly game is back at Macca's and there's thousands of prizes to be won. In fact, there's over $578 million worth of prizes to be won, and you've got a 1 in 4 chance to win. Prizes include a VW Polo GTI, free Macca's for a year, a $1,000 Choice Hotels gift card, or a $1,500 Webjet gift card, and so much more. The Monopoly game is back at Macca's. Peel and scan to win today. T's and C's apply.
Nobody likes being copied.
Nobody likes being copied.
So if you've got a .com.au domain name,
A .com.au domain name.
register the .au version now to avoid someone impersonating you.
Register the...
For example, if your domain name is copycat.com.au,
Hey.
you should also register copycat.au. Otherwise, someone can trade on your good name.
Yep.
Visit webcentral.au now to register your .au domain name. Web Central, the home of .au.
The home of .au.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Three-quarter time in the elimination final between Brisbane and Richmond, and oh wow, it is an absolute cracking affair. The Tigers have it by 5 points only at three-quarter time. They're 14-6-90, the Lions 13-7-85. Simon Black, Daisy Thomas, Liam Flanagan and Baz and Ethan Meldrum in the box. Heath, Triple M Reds and Lenning stats, what are they telling you?
Honestly, not much to split these two sides at the moment, but Brisbane lifted their pressure. Last 10 minutes, pressure factor 217 they got up to. But as we were saying just before the break, 12 lead changes, 21 individual goal kickers. The most in a season so far is 23 back in round 10, Hawthorn v Brisbane. So they're on track to top it tonight. Lachie Neale, 30 disposals, 12 clearances, number one ranked player. Daniel McStay, 21 touches and a goal. And for the Tigers, Toby Nankervis, 23 disposals, had 12 in that third term alone.
He was massive in that quarter, was the Tigers skipper.
Reds and Lenning loans for the self-employed days, and Blackie, what a ripping final term of the great game we've got coming up here.
And this is what you live for. As a player out there, the opportunity to present on the big stage at three-quarter time. You got yourself in the arm wrestle, and the game is well and truly up for grabs. Credit to both sides. There's been moments of dominance, moments of brilliance. The scoring has been phenomenal, but even the pressure in and around that, it hasn't been an open, bruise-free game. There's been bodies flying in absolutely everywhere. It's just been an absolute treat to sit back here and watch this game and watch arguably some of the best footy I've seen for three quarters in a very long time, Blackie.
Absolutely, Dave. It's a treat to be here. This is serious football, serious contest, and the fact that it's a final and we've got 90 points to 85, the entertainment value for the crowd here and everyone at home is absolutely first class. Last quarter, big moments win big games, don't they? So the great players, you need your great players playing big in big moments, and this is an opportunity for some of the stars of this game, the Dusty Martins, the Lachie Neale's been superb, the Tom Lynches, these sort of types, Jack Rewa, who can take the moment, who can take the game by the scruff of the neck and drag that team over the line here. This is going to be fascinating.
You just have an inkling, and we've seen it many times before, or maybe that, but Dusty Martin back in the side, hasn't used a whole lot of petrol tickets. Is he going to be the one to have the massive last quarter and stamp his authority on this one?
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks finals footy. The final term. Who gets the chocolates tonight? Nankervis, bottom of the pack, kick it off the ground. Neale will be first there. Defensive side of the centre. Hand pass off to Archie. Real high ball back to half forward for Brisbane. Bounces inside, forward 50. As McCarthy and Danaher crash the pack. Snap on goal is good. Charlie's got three. Spilled behind and Cameron swooped on it. And guess what? Brisbane have hit the front. They lead by a point. 30 seconds final term. Triple M IJ Liga score, but how many lead changes now, Leaf?
That's lead change number 13 for the game disposal, number 31 for Lachie Neale as well.
I tell you what you need from your big forwards. You need a contest, and that's exactly what they got from Joe Danaher. They keep cannon into another group of players coming towards him, Days. He held his line, exactly what you want, and it caused chaos around him, which Charlie Cameron was smart enough and quick enough to get onto that loose ball, but praise to Joe Danaher. Well done. That was a great effort.
Genuinely cleared a path, parted the seas for his small partner in crime, and now the crowd becomes a factor if you're the Tigers. You can hear them start to get involved. They got into it after the last Charlie goal. The wind was knocked out of their sails after Mitch Robertson gave away a free kick. Now they get right involved, the home crowd. This is massive.
Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy.
There he is.
Lockie Neal, somebody go to him, please. Oh, what a tackle. Super tackle laid by Camden McIntosh. He nailed Archie. The free kick, it'll send the Tigers inside forward 50. They trail by a point. He's called to play on. Drills it in the Lynch direction. Cumberland with the fist from behind. Cochin, front and centre work. Short, just poked it out in front. Wanted the ball to continue. Coleman tapped it defensively. There's Lockie Neal again. He is absolutely everywhere. I think there's got to be a couple of him. Has found it. Left, right and centre. Inside forward 50 from Gibcus. Edwards, the Medi sub, couldn't keep it in front of him. Lynch, pursued by Pryor. He's hatched on the football. We're going to have a ball up, 25 out from the Tigers' goal. 1 point lead to the Lions.
Have to be high alert here, the Brisbane Lions. Nankervis grabbed the ball a couple of times from these situations.
Big Nank, what does he do? Tried to grab it, then went to ground. Footy spilled 15 out from Richmond's goal. Trying to work his way out. Pryor lost the footy in the handle. Grabbed by Neal. Hand pass back to Coleman. High kick goes out in the full. Went out in the full and Pickett will get the free kick. And the player on the mark, Zorko, stands about 47 metres out. So Pickett's on the boundary line. And he's settling with the footy. Wipes his hands on his jumper. Brisbane by a point before the kick. 2.5 final term. Starts to walk in off the fence. Pickett doesn't go for goal. Puts it to the hot spot, but it's all Brisbane, and Matheson sat underneath it and took the mark at fullback.
Daniel, follow him, Shane. Daniel out.
Reece Matheson just takes a breath. So too does the sellout crowd at the Gabba. Elimination final. Charlie Cameron. He jumped up in the air. He didn't need any shoulders to rise. Took a big mark. Got 3 goals. No Dylan Grimes. He's the man that normally blankets Charlie Cameron in these clashes. He's not there. Out of the side. Charlie enjoying the free rein. Moves forward. Zach Bailey. He has gone up a level in this second half. Kicked it to himself. Fired on, then won the free kick. It's going to go against Gibcus. And he'll stand the mark at about 47. Does Bailey have the legs from here, Blackie?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he will. He's from just inside the boundary line, though. It's going to take an exceptional kick.
Harvey Norman replay, clever play. The chip and chase to himself, but then put the head over it, win himself the free kick.
How good's he been?
He's someone that seems like he lives for these moments. We've seen him after the siren before. Massive kick.
Triple M Seabus Super special comment. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Zach Bailey all the way to the line, and in fact clears the pack and goes through for a minor score. So the Lions extend them lead to a 2-point lead. 92-90. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Loston runs out of fullback. Again looks to the outer side wing. Drops it onto the boot. 45 metres. Harris Andrews makes the spoil. Ball in front of the pack. The superstar, the Rolls Royce, Dusty Martin. Picks it up. Hand pass back to Nathan Broad. Kick back towards the wing, but Gardner read it nicely. Read it nicely coming in and snuck around Lynch and took the mark for Brisbane. Outer side wing. The Lions have a 2-point lead. 4.5 final term. Drives it long to half forward. McCarthy 53 out. Good spoil by Vlosten. In fact, he punts it up in the air and then grabbed it a second time and he's paid the mark. And the Tigers have possession with a kick out to the wing.
Corridor they go. Dusty at 80%. He's out there. Turns and burns long inside forward 50. Well, Tom Lynch played for it in the biggest possible way and the umpire wasn't buying. Andrews, the best game the Lions have seen out of their key defender for quite a few weeks. We'll kick back down the line, outer side. A little bit of sting just going out. All the players seemingly collecting their breaths. As Floston and Neal see it over the boundary.
There's been opportunities for the Brisbane Lions to honour the short and change an angle, and they haven't. Just concerning that they're starting to play a little bit safe. You still need to challenge that defence of Richmond, as we've seen in the last couple of minutes here. Just kicking it long down the line, playing right into the Richmond hands. They can set up defensively, pin you in. You can't escape that forward 50.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Daisy Thomas, Simon Black, two of the best in the business. Super making hard work pay off. Boundary throwing. Tap to the back of the pack. McCluggage was there. Nice pass. McCarthy plays on. We dropped the ball, went back and picked it up. A little short kick out towards Zorko. Forward of the wing, out of side. Just inside the boundary, takes the mark. Zorko called the play on. Got a player inboard. McCarthy followed up his early work and he's taken the mark 65 out. Reasonably open forward line. He goes long. Bailey! Big leap in the square. Can't mark. Pickett grabbed it, hand passed it through for a rush point. And the umpire said...
He was under pressure.
He was under pressure. You heard the umpire. And he's paid the point to Brisbane. They lead by 3 of those. 6.5 final term.
Tigers. Now they need to take a risk, take the game on. Still plenty of time. 15.5 minutes as Broad chips it down the near side. Pickett. The run continues. Bolter provides. They've chipped it all the way up to centre wing now. Ross now with some space to take off and go. Sees something he likes, spears the pass. Rewalt with a lunge. Jack Payne stands the mark in the very corner where the boundary and the 50-metre arc hit. This would take a special something from Jack Rewalt.
15 seconds.
Just the 6 disposals for the Tiger champion. 14th all-time on the AFL goal-kicking list. Chasing down Kevin Bartlett. Probably won't get to him this year. But to cut it back by 1. Keeps it low. Fades it right. Jack, yes please! That's his second. And that might be the best of the night. The Tigers are back in front. 96-93. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop. And that was a great drop.
Absolutely. We'll get to the goal and how good that was. But disappointingly from the Lions there, just allowing Richmond to march the ball up the field. So territory in these big games, so important. You can't just from a stop play allow uncontested mark on uncontested mark. You need to shuffle your defence, get across and cause somebody to pull the trigger on a long ball down the line, get it back into a contest. But Jack Rewalt, I tell you what, sensing the occasion, Blackie, good enough to kick it from there in possible angles.
Yeah, you're right, you're dead right. The ability of Brisbane to be able to hold up the field. Richmond had one out over the back and allowed that uncontested mark just to shut down their opposition was poorly done there by the Lions.
For McDonald to Ream, hot water, Triple M Rocks, finals footy, tap down to Neil for Brisbane. Long 55-metre driving drop, punt, hand pass to Danaher, advantage paid for a goal. Joe's put it through. There was going to be a free to Hipwood. Joe ran on and put it through for his second. And Brisbane reclaim the lead. 15-9-99, Tigers 15-6-96. I can't keep up, Blackie.
Oh, man,
9 in the final term. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
This is absolutely nuts. The amount of lead changes, what a contest it is. Joey Danaher here, he had to kick that goal. He had to kick it. He got the advantage play on after Eric Hipwood would have had a shot from about 12 metres out, pretty much straight in front. And big Joey Danaher's run towards the boundary line, done the little banana, the outside worm burner. Unfortunately for him, he got it in, but geez, what a contest this is.
Centre clearance, Lockie Neal. What a game of football he's playing, finals football. Hey, tell us something we don't know.
Lockie Neal, 35 disposals, 14 clearances. Lead change number 15 for the game. Most I can find all time is 19. Essendon, Sydney, 2010.
We're going to get there in a canter at this rate. Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream, hot water. Triple M Rocks footy, and what a game we have got. Here go the Tigers now. Back and forth. Morris Rioli tried to plug it out of the pack. McCluggage got it instead. Lockie Neal. No one wants to go near him. Pickett took the footy though. Oh, jeez, I tell you what, Charlie nearly took his head off. Charlie has dead set, knocked Noah Bolter's head off. Free kick. Noah Bolter gets up, plays on quickly. Jack Ross tries to shrug the tackle, gets it to Pickett. Marlin around the corner. Here's Jack again. Safe spot.
Look at him.
Well, he knows how to kick it. If anything, he's a touch closer. Jack Rewalt kicked a miracle goal moments ago from here, and this one's slightly easier.
Payne doing the very best he can, and if anything from a defensive point of view, you go, well, if you're going to keep kicking him from here 50 metres out on the hardest angle, at some point you have to say too good.
Yeah, he's done a great job, Jack Payne, up probably to the last 2 minutes, but he has been isolated somewhat on the lead. It has been challenging.
Rewalt for his third, and to give the Tigers back the lead. He didn't! This is incredible stuff as Jack Rewalt kicks his third and gives the Tigers back the lead. 102.99. We got 12 and a half left of this, Ethan. What's that lead change?
His lead change number 16 for the night.
Jeez.
Unbelievable stuff. Payne's done very well. And when there has been long high balls in, just shows the importance of keeping some sort of pressure on the ball. Rewalt and his timing has been pretty well held on the night, but the last couple of minutes found a little bit of one-on-one, a little bit of separation, and he doesn't need much, as we've just seen there. That is 2 of the clutchest goals you're ever likely to see.
It's the mark of a champion, isn't it? That is just soup up for his footy club. What a star he's been over a long period of time, and he's put his club back in front. 3 points up the Tigers, 12 minutes final term for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water Triple M Rocks Footy. Built tough frozen conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream. The bounce is magnificent again. McStay goes up, Miller beats it and taps at the ground level, grabs his own footy, hand pass to Pickett, runs to forward 50, met by Coleman, spills to Bolton. Bolton fires from 45. Umpire's whistle goes. And it's a free kick to Harris Andrews. Lynch and Andrews in a one-on-one.
Massive win for Andrews there.
Yes.
Out of position, ball coming in one-on-one. He's been enormous.
Kicks
Andrews.
outside defensive 50. Big leap from Danaher. Doesn't mark. There's Morris Rioli, ground level. Ball in dispute, trying to work his way through Cochin. Kicked out of his hands. Kicked off the ground for Brisbane, but straight into the arms of Floston, who marks forward to the wing out of side.
Been really good, the Tigers defender Floston. Chips the ball inside 50. Lions just stand around and watch it.
Clever.
Coleman with a clever handball backwards. Finds Pryor in some space, but he's kicked it to a 2-on-1. Made life really difficult for McStay, who got rid of one defender. Now he taps it forward. Damn McStay. That's a huge win. He got it to the boundary line. Gibkiss was there. Ross as well. Miller and McStay earns a throw-in.
And these are the moments. They're not only big ones like kicking goals, little 50-50 wins like that are massive. Just can't help but think, Blackie, if you're a coach right now, you've almost just got to throw the headsets down. You just got to rely on pressure and effort.
And not being remarkable, just reliable, keeping your feet, hitting the easy target if it's there, being clean with your hands. All the fundamentals are pivotal right now.
Tigers by 3 points. Brisbane in possession. McCarthy's got it on the wing. Kicks it just inside forward 50. Robinson went, but Baker beat him in a one-on-one and took a nice mark for Richmond. What a season for Baker. He's been a star for the Tigers. Kicks across half-back, dangerous ball. It was heading towards Tarrant, and Berry ran a long way to slap it out of his hands and punch it out of bounds in the forward pocket. Brisbane a big chance here. Tigers by 3 points, 14 final term.
Yeah, well done, Jared Berry. Took the gamble to come forward hard. That's what he did. Made the contest, created a forward 50 stoppage. Well done, Berry.
102.99. The Tigers lead. 16 lead changes. We're inside the Brisbane forward 50. Danaher in the ruck. Cochin caught with the football. Tigers have it. Beast mode, Matheson. Snap around the body. Not going to get there. High contest. Robinson now in the lead. The boundary line should win out. Will Mitch get there? No, he won't. We'll have a boundary throw in. Right half forward for the Lions. 102.99.
Brisbane in their forward half. Crowd on the edge of their seats. Clapping, chanting all around the ground. Both club supporters on their feet. Tigers by 3. Brisbane at forward 50. The ball slapped straight back out of bounds. And another boundary throw, and this time it'll be about 60 around from the Lions goal.
Baz, have you noticed that Simon Black and Daisy Thomas have not sat down since three-quarter time?
No, exactly right. They are absolutely enthralled in what's been just a terrific example of our great game in finals footy. Another boundary throw in. Again, it's Miller in the ruck. Taps down towards Pickett. Runs to the boundary line. Claims the footy. Hooks across his body to the wing, but Will Model mark. The young man dropped it. And Morris Rioli slapped it forward. It's grabbed by Cumberland. He goes inside forward 50 with a kick to Lynch and marks. He marks 45 out. 45 out, no angle to speak of, and a huge opportunity presents itself for the Tigers.
It sure does. On the back of the poor first gamer, Darcy Wilmot just spilled a ball. Looked like he had it secured, but then it just came out in the last second, and Richmond just
15
so good at
seconds.
being able to transition on turnover and got the uncontested mark beautifully to Lynch inside forward 50. Heartbreaking for young Wilmot.
Tommy Lynch has kicked 3. Had a ripping battle all night with Harris Andrews, one of the best one-on-ones you'd see. He walks in, steps up to the mark. He'll drop this onto his boot. 49 out. No real angle. Long. He got under it a little bit and it's gone right. It's a point. 4 points up Richmond. 16,703. 15,999 the Lions. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Just having a look across the field, looks like Marlon Pickett's got a run with roll now on Lockie Neal. So the Tigers have made a move to put some serious work into Lockie Neal, who's been enormous.
Keep an eye on that one. Nice spot, Daisy. Triple M Seabus super special comments as Robinson did really well. Still trying to atone for the goal he gave away in the third term. Baker with a late fist to deny McStay. And we'll have a boundary thrown right in front of the interchange gates. 103.99. The Tigers with a 4-point lead. The loser leaves town. Their season is over. The winner will go on to play the loser of the Swans and the D's game tomorrow night.
What's on the countdown clock, Flannis? What are we looking at? How much
We got
time?
9.5 to play, Baz.
Boundary throw in. Bailey's got it back of the pack. He's been brilliant. Hand pass to Big Joe Danaher. Didn't load up with the big left foot ball. Went short to Hipwood. It bounced just in front of him. Went out of bounds about 49 around from the Lions goal. So another boundary throw in shoes. Brisbane inside forward 50. And they trail by 4 points.
Zach Bailey showing clean hands in this second half. As Danaher and Nankervis, you wonder where Bailey is. Hipwood bending around the ball. Going to go deep. Big fist came from the Tigers defensive group. Matheson almost had his head taken off. Umpire didn't see it. Got it to Robertson. We're going to have another boundary throw in. Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Just wonder whether Matho could have got a free kick there. Bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs now at Harvey Norman.
200.
Yep.
Yes, beautiful. Left forward pocket, boundary throw in for Brisbane. They search again. Both sides have been magnificent. McStay tapped it down. Broad was there for Richmond. Hacked the ball out of the back pocket. That was good. And the mark taken by McIntosh. Just outside defensive 50. Just hugs the footy to his hip. Happy to go back real slow. And now kicks a ball 40 metres to the outer side wing. Lynch and Andrews. What a battle it's been. Andrews with a fist. Tapped down to Payne. Got it back to Andrews. Hand pass to Neal. Neal kicked forward, looking outer side to Archie. Hand pass to McCluggage. McCluggage 65 from home. Low drop punt to McCarthy. Goes to his knees and marks 40 out. He'd be about 10 to 15 metres inside the boundary. But here he goes.
Well, we spoke about composure, didn't we, Daisy? And that's what Brisbane did beautifully well there. And no mistake here, McCluggage able to find a target. His good mate Nick McCarthy inside forward 50.
So Lincoln McCarthy, if he puts this through, it'll be no surprise to anyone that we'll have another new leader. It's been like this all night. McCarthy at the 19.5-minute mark. Tigers lead by 4 points. 45 out. He fires and misses to the left. Richmond by 3 points as the Lions rack up their 100th point. 100 plays 103. 19.5 final term. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Geez, it's going to be cold comfort for whoever loses this game that they were involved in one of the great finals we've seen. As the Tigers bring it to the outer side, Harris Andrews with a big fist, but it's a cliche, Daisy, but this is a game that no one deserves to lose.
No, absolutely. The way it's been played and the manner in which it's been played, absolutely awesome. When you come to a final, this is exactly what you hope for as a broadcaster, as a fan, and even out there playing. Hope it comes down to these final moments, and it's who's going to hold their head for long enough, who can make the most of these small opportunities, because they will present. At some stage, there will be a moment for someone to present. It's whether or not you're good enough to take it.
Red Z Lending Stats, first time in 7 years we've had a final with both teams scoring 100, 2015 elimination final.
Tap down to Zorko. Zorko, high kick to the forward pocket, touch play on. You heard from the umpire. Bounces into space, 40 from the Lions goal. Baker put his head over it, won it for Richmond. Punts out a hand pass to Daniel Rioli. Got it at half back, hand pass back to Baker. Baker got to get around Matheson. Did. It was good. Little short kick will come out head of the wing. And the mark will be taken by Jack Ross. Now he's just defensive side. Slows it down momentarily. Baker, who continue to run. receives it from Ross and marks on his chest. Right in front of the Triple M broadcast box. Wing broadcast side of the ground. Baker goes for the low drop punt to half forward, and a good mark taken by the big man Miller. Oh, he stubbed his toe as he kicked it. He ran around and stubbed his toe, and the ball ran along the ground. Brisbane to clear. Long ball back out here to the wing.
Contest. Baker sends it forward towards Ross. Ross can't keep it in. These players are out on their feet. Let's get down to the boundary for Bob Jane teammates, Belinda Melton B.
Justin Mutton has been on the bench for about the last 8 minutes, I reckon. They're freshening him up as much as possible for those last dying seconds.
Nice work, B. Bob Jane teammates, look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au. Marlon Pickett for the Tigers. Sends it long, sends it deep. Where's Tommy Lynch? He flies. Kadeem Coleman getting involved. Now Jack Ross there as well. A good tackle laid by Coleman. He just spreads him out on the turf. We're going to have a ball up inside the Tigers forward 50. Timmer Hardwick just priming Mr. Martin for a last 5-minute effort, you think?
What's the time on the clock, Flanners? The countdown clock.
6 minutes to play.
As Neil's got it at half back for Brisbane. They trail by 3 points. Got it to Gardner, slipped over. And out of his grasp, the ball rolled out of bounds. Still 48 out from the Tigers' goal. What do you like from here, Brucky? Don't answer. Boundary throw in.
Oh, jeez.
I just was dying to
I've
say
got the
that.
sweats.
In it comes. Big Miller again wins it out of the ruck. Hand pass to big Nankervis, but it was too wide for the big man. And it went out of bounds. Now it's about 55 around from the goal mouth. That is Richmond's, and geez, this is just an exhausting, ripping, classic game of finals footy.
Can someone tell me what position Toby Nankervis is playing?
He doesn't know, tell him.
He is knackered. He has been rucking for most of this game. Oh, Marlon Pickett, he's fresh. High, bending ball inside forward 50. Harris Andrews again with the fist. Clears the danger. Archie didn't go to the foot, he went the body. Lynch wrapped up. Payne there. Archie back on his feet. He'll keep it in for the Lions. They've got numbers as long as they don't get mowed down. McCarthy didn't see Edwards coming. The Medi sub for the Tigers with a ripping tackle. Wins the free kick. 65 from home.
How's that, boys? For a finals tackle.
Harvey Norman replay came from nowhere, not even in the screen as McCarthy looked up to get their massive effort. Now the Tigers a chance to get it inside forward 50.
Champions have an impact, and that's what Shane Edwards just did. Short pass to Baker, who's marked on forward 50. Now he's on the boundary line out of sight, about 5 metres in. He's called the moving on. He wants to kick to the hot spot. Plays on. Long drop punt, real long, and he's gone for distance. And in turn, he's hooked it off the side of his boot and out of bounds on the full. So Brisbane can bring it back in, and Coleman has it.
5-minute warning, Baz. In the final 5 minutes of this one, 103-100. We've had 1,800 lead changes as McCluggage just bounces into some space. Chips forward, finds his mate Berry. This is how Daisy Thomas has wanted them to play all night. This is when they've been at their best. The Tigers have set up defensively. Berry with the footy right half back. Oh, this is a brave kick in the corridor. He got it to Zorko just in time. He danced around Bolton, Starcevic, Coleman through the corridor. Kick inside forward 50. Hipwood dropped it. Charlie got to it. Broad wearing him like an absolute blanket. Charlie can't shake him. Gets the footy to Bailey. Bailey around the body, top of the square goes the kick. Big Joe.
Oh, McCarthy! That's a free kick to Richmond.
It's a free kick.
Robbie Curran's free kick.
Simon Black just broke the desk. Wow. Danaher's given away a free kick. Tigers with the footy.
Yeah. Tarrant kicks outside defensive 50 to Boston. So Richmond hang on to this 3-point lead. McCarthy would have been 20 out directly in front. Kick to the wing. Tommy Lynch is marked. Taking his time to set up. Can the Tigers really make that hurt now? Clock ticks down. We're under 4 minutes. Lynch goes to Morris Rioli at half forward. He marks. Morris Rioli marks. Give Berry a bit of a shove. He plays on. Kicks to the hot spot, but he's missed the target. And Pryor's taken the mark at full back. Lions fans are just out of their seats Hand pass off to the running Rich. Looks to the outer side wing. What happened? He ran too far. He ran too far. He just kept going, Daniel. And Richmond have got the free kick, 70 out from home.
Richmond had numbers behind the ball beautifully. They got back. Rich had no one really to kick to, and that's what caused the running too far. We see here the free kick against Danaher in the back, forward 50 for the Lions, about a minute ago.
Oh. 3 minutes to play. Edwards goes lateral, finds Floston. We are inside the final 3 minutes. 103 the Tigers, 100 the Lions. Tigers possessing the football. It's in the hands of Short. He's 55 from home. The man on the mark will stand there. Called to play on. Thumping, long-range kick, top of the square. Lynch! Oh! Tom Lynch with the biggest mark of the game. He'll go back. He'll take his full 30 seconds, you'd think. And maybe, just maybe, keep the Tigers season alive.
Be interesting to see what he goes with here, because he usually a drop punt sort of operator. Tight angle, big pressure moment. Will he back himself in, or will he square himself and go the right foot check side?
He opts for the checky. Oh, I think he's pushed it. Has he? Goal umpire. I think we're going to have a score review.
Oh,
let's listen in. Check which side of the post it went on.
Call is a goal.
Oh,
Please
no.
confirm which side it went cross.
Well, the big news is the umpire's call is a goal. If you're playing poker with Tom Lynch, he's got a pair of twos and he's trying to sell you he's got aces.
We're having a look on the score review. Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Umpire's call is a goal. Barry Dennis put the spectacles on.
Gee, that's close.
Tom Lynch walked off. Didn't put the hand up, no reaction.
No, that is close.
We can see the ball crosses the line over the top of the goalpost. Decision on the scoreboard.
What's the point?
Top of the goalpost.
Daniel.
The score review is complete. Umpire's call was a goal.
It's a point.
It's a point. The Lions live. 2 minutes to play. 104-100. Lions with the footy.
Daniel Rich has it at full back, and he goes thump onto the left boot, straight up the ground, lands in the centre of the Gabba. 8 players fly. Nan Purvis with a fist on it, punches it towards Richmond's half-forward line. Neil puts his head over it, punches it up to Matheson, hand pass to Coleman, rush to kick forward to the centre. McStay sees the ball bounce off his chest, punch back to McCluggage, hand pass Neil, kicks mother, Zorko thumps it forward, grabbed by Sarcevic. Oh, Rioli got in the way, ball still on the deck. This is amazing. Finals footy at its best. Punched out, hand pass back to Coleman. A kick inside 450. Bailey's got it. He's marked on 48 out, and he's on the boundary line.
That's where you are.
A minute 20 left.
1:20 on the clock.
He's going to take a super kick, Baz, right into junction.
This kid is just so talented. Called to play on. Wheels around, it's touched. It'll land in the square. Tigers will win. What's the point on the ground? Big Joe! Big Joe's put it through. And now he's got a smile. The Lions have hit the front. The Lions have hit the front with exactly 1 minute of game time left. They lead by 2 points. Danaher, goodness gracious, with his third goal, has put Brisbane in front.
Catastrophe for the Tigers on the goal line. They had the big men back there. Harvey Norman replay. 3 of them went up. Nankervis was down there. Rewalt was down there. Vlosten was down there. Bolter. And the only man that stayed down fell into his lap. Big Joe Danaher. Now becomes a massive moment. A minute on the clock. This is where you go into your safety gameplay. And for the Tigs, they've got to win the centre bounce.
Oh, if Joey Danaher has come up here on big contract, big situation, big moment, massive goal. Can they hold on, Brisbane?
This is unbelievable. The Lions lead 106-104. The ball is back in the middle for McDonald's and Reeve Otwater. Triple M rocks footy. Nankervis, McStay, they battle. Matheson moves it forward. McCarthy tries to do the same. We're inside the Lions forward 50 just. Whistle on play. 46 seconds, the clock stops.
So the Lions here trying to hold everything in, keep it in close, keep it in the contest. The Tigs trying to get it outside, trying to get it to the open side.
If they get it open, they are dangerous, Richmond. Sonsi tried to thump it forward, and Bolton sweeps on it. Neil's tackle, brilliant. Dragged him down. The umpire said just play on. Bailey picks it up. Tackled, scrubs the ball 15 metres Brisbane's way, and again just forward to the wing out of side. The umpire to ball it up. What's the clock say, Flanners?
29 seconds, Baz. 106, 104. The Lions lead. The tap goes out wide. Bailey went to ground. No one touching the football. Joe slid. McStay moves it forward. This might be enough for the Lions. Broad has it though. Tigers must go. Clock counting. 15 seconds, Baz.
Kicks across half back. McIntosh's mark. How many now, Flanners?
9.
He's in the back pocket. Brisbane are going to hang on.
5.
He's kicked across half back. It's marked by Boulder. Kick outside. The clock continues to tick down. Brisbane have done it. Brisbane have done it. Brisbane have turned the finals on their head. The Lions by 2 points. The Gabba has gone off. 16-10-106. Richmond 16-8-104.
They started playing the Tigers song.
We love the pride of Brisbane town. We better roll on, blue and gold. We will always fight for victory, like the Troy and Bears of old. All for one and one for all. We will answer to the call. Go Lions, Brisbane Lions, we'll kick the winning score. You'll hear a mighty roar.
Well, if you love your finals footy, this one will go down in history as one of the great finals, an elimination final, albeit, but jeepers. A big winner is Brisbane. Richmond will be absolutely shattered. They were magnificent. Blackie and Daisy, you've been out there. That was just sensational.
An instant classic, Blackie. That was an unbelievable game of sport. Lead changes, it had it all. How's about some of the plays in the last 30 seconds there? Shea Bolton coming through the centre of the ground. Guess who on his hammer? Lockie Neal. He's unbelievable. Here's Chris Fagan, courtesy of Channel 7.
I can't believe that. What a game of football that was. Fair dinkum. Well, our blokes just stuck at it all night, didn't they? And they wouldn't go away. You know, you think about it, we lose our ruckman in the first 2 minutes, and we found a way. I'm so pleased for this group because they've been under a lot of pressure about our finals record. We were really brave tonight, and we can hold our heads up high, as can Richmond. It was a super game.
How good is September? And another sellout here at the Gabba. Third game in a row. This is unbelievable scenes down here.
Yeah, it is. If it's going to be like this all September, the AFL is going to be pretty happy. But no, brilliant for our fans. You know, we clocked up 43,000 members this week, which is brilliant for our club. And from the turn up tonight and see that after a disappointing performance against Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, it's I'm really pleased for them.
Right on, Fags. We'll see you next week.
So for anyone that says it doesn't matter, look at the face of Chris Fagan. And finals footy just brings out the absolute best. And the players out there, the 23 for both sides, we say 23 because the subs come on pretty early. But the relief on that coach's face for all the reasons and the pressure he's been under in the footy club. Geez, that is just that is a classic game of attrition. We just fight to the end. And it was right to the end. The last 5 seconds, Richmond had the ball.
That was one of the best games I think all of us have ever been to and ever seen. That was a remarkable, not just because my old team has won it, that contest, the lead changes throughout the night, the bruising contest, the bodies on the line, the high scoring, it had everything. Had absolutely everything. It was an incredible game of football, and we're going to cross down to Channel 7 with Hugh McCluggage.
Incredible. Everyone was out on their legs at the end, and I think the fans, we probably were disappointed with the showing we put in last week, so to be able to do this week, and one of the best games of the year, I think. It was just amazing.
What's going through your mind? You've got 5 minutes to go, you're 3 points down. Obviously, Joe Danaher hadn't kicked that goal yet, but what's going through your mind in the dying stages of this game?
I think we've had a lot of experience in close finals the last few years, so I think it was just a want not to lose again, and last year we went out pretty heartbreakingly to the Dogs, so Joey stepped up when we needed him, and I'm really proud of him.
Game 1 50 as well. It's quite fitting, isn't it, that he slots the winner?
Definitely, it's awesome. It was sad to see Big O go down at the start there in game 100, both being great for our club. So, yeah, it's fitting that Joey kicked the last goal.
Congratulations, amazing effort.
Tell you what, a lot of heroes out there tonight.
Oh, Baz, I tell you, and Joe Danaher, he'd be an interesting stat about over his career, how many goals he's kicked from mark kick as opposed to ground level, pick the ball up. He gets a lot of his goals from roving or from just scrappy, messy balls. He's done that amazingly well throughout his career, and tonight kicked the match winner in a massive occasion again.
Days, that was one for the ages, mate.
It certainly was. Just a fantastic contest. Richmond, we knew they were in red-hot form coming up here. We knew what they were going to bring. The Brisbane Lions knew what they were going to bring, and it didn't disappoint, unfortunately, as we sort of touched on with about 10 minutes to go. There had to be a loser in this one, and Richmond, they have to lick their wounds. They'll be ruining those losses throughout the back half of the season. The draw with Fremantle, the loss to North Melbourne, and, of course, the loss to the Gold Coast Suns up at Metricon when they were 40-odd points up. Could have secured them a top 2 chance, and this is when it comes back to bite you in the backside. This man, unbelievable. Charlie Cameron, courtesy of 7.
It was a tough battle with Brisbane, but yeah, unbelievable.
What did that change for you structurally, losing your ruckman in the first 5 minutes of the game?
Well, Macca, I think, had to play 70% of the ruck. So, as forwards, we had one tour at one point and 5 smalls. So we just told Eric and Joey if it was one of them just to get the ground, and then obviously our smalls are pretty good. So once the ball was at the ground, we were pretty electric. So yeah, speechless.
And Lockie Neal, all Australian for the 3rd time. He's another Brownlow favourite. What's it like to have him running through the midfield?
Oh, it's pretty unbelievable. What a player he is, and I think Marlon went to him at the end there. It shows a bit of, I guess, what damage he did in the first 4 quarters. Started the 4 quarters, so unbelievable player, but yeah, speechless.
Right on, Charlie, go and soak this up.
Charlie Cameron, another hero out there tonight. He kicked 3 goals, and I tell you what, I know you've got to individualise after every game, and I don't envy you blokes tonight because it'd be very hard to miss anyone out there tonight that just put their head over it and did their very best for their jumper.
And that's the beauty of finals footy, Baz. We hope we get games like this. It isn't always the case, but some of the big moments and just the ability to go back to keeping it really simple. I think you were touching on it, Blackie. A lot of people think in the big moments, the high-pressure situations, you have to do something remarkable, and it's not the case at all. You've just got to simplify it. Make sure you take care of business, whether that be a clean pickup and a first give that hits a logo and then that person's out, and you just repeat. You keep stacking up those efforts and those little things, and every now and then an opportunity presents itself for somebody to have a moment of greatness. Jack Rewald had 2 of them up this end, and at the other end it ended up being the night for Joey Danaher to have his moment in the sun.
I was watching. I started watching the game, Blackie. Flanners was called. I'm just watching. I'm thinking every one-on-one contest. I mean, if you saw half a dozen of them on a normal game, you'd remember them. But there was that many one-on-ones that were just spectacular out there tonight.
Seemed to be one after the other all night, didn't it?
Yeah.
And late in the game, we had the treat of every sort of contest may determine the outcome of the game. And when you've lived it, Days, things like that, I've got to keep my feet. I can't fall over. My opponent gets it. At least I'm there to tackle them. And that's what makes it such a grand spectacle on both sides. I mean, pats on the back. Richmond was so brave. They were so good. It's a cruel game, Flanners.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if you want an evidence of how close this game was, whoever's in charge of the club song records, he hadn't changed it from Richmond. He played the first few bars of the Richmond theme song, and then you literally heard the record scratch as he hurried to switch it over.
Flopping one to the other.
We should, you talk about individualising, we should pay a little bit of tribute to a bloke by the name of Shane Edwards, who was carried off after the game on the shoulders of his teammates. 303 games in the yellow and black premierships. What a club servant he has been. He has retired. It brings to a close a fantastic career for Shane.
Absolutely, a real stalwart of the footy club and what he's done for that football club in big moments as well. Unfortunately, it ends tonight, and well done to the Brisbane boys as well. Took time out of their celebrations to go form the Guard of Honour, a send-off he certainly deserves. He's been an unbelievable player for such a long period of time.
Well, it's an incredible game. It started with Oscar McInerney going down the first couple of minutes. He was subbed out of the game. He had concussion, and his nose was plastered across his face. And then, of course, before half-time, Richmond lost Dion Prestia, and Both subs on the ground. Shane was one of those, and it was just game on.
It'll be interesting to see, too, in the aftermath of this one. That score review late in the game looked pretty inconclusive. Tom Lynch didn't celebrate, so obviously thinking that it may have been a behind.
I reckon you picked it when you said that.
Yeah, well, he sort of, and it would have been interesting if he had been maybe a bit more disingenuous with the finger up and just thought that he kicked it. Would have been interesting because the goal umpire's call was a goal. Whether or not there's evidence enough to overturn that, no doubt, that'll be a talking point. But in that match up there, how good was Harris Andrews tonight? Coming into this game, we're talking a lot about his form and how at times he allows that leg rope far too long, doesn't quite get it right. He was absolutely enormous tonight.
He sure was, wasn't he? He was so disciplined. He got that judgment so right. And look, Brisbane have copped their whack the last fortnight. There's no doubt about that. And it was warranted. It was deserved. They were very poor against Melbourne. And so what they did, they had the benefit, the luxury of resetting with that week off, and they obviously played with the intensity. And an interesting stat was the hit-outs. Without Oscar McInerney there, Richmond dominated that 55-17. And we'll talk further about this, but the clearances were actually in the Lions' favour. So that's something that will please Chris Fagan no end.
Just heading down to the rooms, the Lions, just the lead changes again, just to give people an idea how many times the lead changed tonight, and they were heading for a record at one stage. How close were they?
I almost bloody lost count. There were 17 lead changes in tonight's game. The most I could find was a game back in 2010, Essendon versus Sydney. That had 19 in it, so we were almost at record-setting pace here tonight. It was ridiculous.
Jimmer Hardwick is still in the coach's box. The Lions, the Tigers players have long gone into the rooms. They're sitting, we're seeing shots of them down there. If you look across the ground, Damien Hardwick is still sitting in the Richmond coach's box, seemingly processing this loss.
It hurts regardless, and that's what he'd be doing, because it looked like for the best part of this match that they were just going to find their way to be in front when the final post came, and when it's not the case, you sometimes just sit to the left there with your own thoughts, and that's a bit of a dangerous and lonely spot.
Triple M Amy Review, submit your fan clanger story to amy.com.au/fansurance, and you could win. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a privilege to be here. And let's get down to the rooms where Belinda Mallon is as the Lions come into the rooms, B. As they get set to form the guard, there's young Wilmot in the centre. Even though it's a final, he's heading into the middle. He's had a little bit of a spray. That's how the Lions will get sent to...
He might not play in a faster game of football in his career.
He's got a lot of confidence. Look at the smile, and when he kicked that goal, he ran back to the crowd. As he ran to the bench, he lifted them to get the cheering up, and what a ripping game he played tonight. Here we go.
Tonight reminds us this game.
To come in, Charlie Cameron's in there. Lockie Neal still one of the last ones to come in. Here they go.
Right. One of the great games of finals footy. We're going to take a breath because Blackie and Days need to have a Becks and lie down. 16-10, 106 the Lions. They're 2-point winners in the elimination final. They play the loser of the qualifying final tomorrow night between Melbourne and Sydney at the MCG. Finals footy is underway. And what a ripping start it's been tonight. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks finals footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
38% of Aussies wrongly think that the pie is an Aussie invention. Only 5% correctly guess that it was the Egyptians who invented the pie.
And that first Egyptian pie was called the Molly Meldrum.
The Sphinx.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Spend $30 or more on fragrances at chemistwarehouse.com.au to get free fast delivery within 3 hours. T's and C's apply.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Holiday with a live soundtrack at Savannah in the Round, starring international superstar Brad Paisley and over 30 more. September 30 to October 2 at Mareeba Rodeo Arena. For tickets, go to savannahintheround.com.au.
At Bob Jane T-Marts, it's our Bloody Oath car park sale. Millions of dollars worth of tyres and wheels with genuine savings. It's an epic tyre and wheel sale with savings for most cars, utes, 4x4s, SUVs and light trucks. First in, best dressed, all stock must go now. Is it going to be a big event? Bloody oath it is. At Bob Jane T-Marts, we know how to have a sale while stocks last.
T's and C's apply.
With an average return of 9.25% per annum for the past 37 years, it's good to know Cbus are making your money work as hard as you.
Is that for shift workers, factory workers, builders and mechanics?
Yep, anyone who does hard work.
Cbus Super, making hard work pay off. To consider if Cbus is right for you, go to cbussuper.com.au for a PDS and TMD. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Hey, it's Daisy Thomas. Are you ready to get that winning feeling? The Monopoly game is back at Macca's and there's thousands of prizes to be won. In fact, there's over $578 million worth of prizes to be won, and you've got a 1 in 4 chance to win. Prizes include a VW Polo GTI, free Macca's for a year, a $1,000 Choice Hotels gift card, or a $1,500 Webjet gift card, and so much more. The Monopoly game is back at Macca's. Peel and scan to win today. T's and C's apply.
Game of Thrones comes a brand new series on Binge.
Targaryens are closer to gods than to men.
Stream House of the Dragon now on Binge.
Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman. Save up to $600 on selected Miele laundry packs, like the perfectly paired Miele 8kg front loader and 8kg heat pump dryer, now $3,798. Bonus $200 cash back on Samsung pack. Huge 12kg washer and 8kg dryer, just $2,694. Receive up to a bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs from all the big brands: LG, Fisher & Paykel, Electrolux, Westinghouse, Hisense, Haier and Ariston. Cashback by redemption. Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M Footy Review. Amy. Who covers clangers? Amy does. Lucky you're with Amy.
One of the great games of footy, the Lions by a couple of points. Let's head down to the rooms where Belinda Mallon is in the Brisbane rooms with one of their heroes, Link McCarthy.
Link, how does it rank? That you've been associated with some gutsy wins, but how does that one rate?
Yeah, it's right up there, to be honest. Obviously, we lost our ruckman really early in the game, and you know, you sort of thought far out it's going to be tough from here, if it wasn't already going to be tough already. So, yeah. It was just great to scrap and find a way. I thought we scrapped really well all night, to be honest, and you know, we just kept pounding the rock and we were able to get the result on the end of Joey's toe in the end. So yeah, it was great fun.
Link, congratulations on the win. Daisy Thomas up here. Take us through the week that's been, and I guess the 2 weeks since that poor performance against Melbourne. How did you guys review that? Because it looked like that was a real defining moment in how you then rocked up tonight and what you were able to bring for the 4 quarters.
Yeah, I think it's tough a little bit when you get smashed by a really good side just like that, just before coming into finals. So whilst we wanted to review, you know, lots of little things that we didn't get right, we also wanted to get back that belief that we're good enough, and we've put a large body of work together that puts us in this position. So there's a bit of a balancing act, I think, for the coaches to try and make sure that messaging, you know, was that we can do this, and you know, flip our mindset back to believing we can.
Link, Simon Black speaking, mate. Congratulations. That's one of the most crazy games I've ever seen. How were you in that? How were you in that forward line, mate? You took that mark late, and Joey gave away the free kick. We've blown my stack up here, but how were you? I guess, how did you see that last quarter overall? It was bonkers, wasn't it?
It was. I was running my little legs off and couldn't really get on the end of much, but yeah, I guess, like I said before, we just tried to keep playing our roles and doing it tough together. So I was sort of spewing. A couple got taken off me there, but yeah, I guess, there's enough of us guys that we were able to get the job done. So, yeah, it was really pleasing and obviously great fun. That's why you play footy for these sorts of games, and it's just good to be on the winning end of it.
Absolutely. And look, how do you get your balance right between flying for the ball in the air and then coming, representation at ground level with the big fellas? How do you judge that? You seem to do it really well.
I don't always get it right, but it's probably something I've been trying to balance my whole career, to be honest. You want to sort of play to your strengths, which can sometimes be in the air, but know that if there's big guys that are there in best position, you've got to sort of hold out and try and get front and square, or try and get a block on for them at some stage. So it's just that balancing act, I guess. Yeah, that's about it.
Now we know that you don't. People often don't like to pump up the tyres of their good mates too much, but you've got a good mate by the name of Lachie Neale, who frankly took the PISS tonight out there, Link. He was absolutely everywhere. What is it like to run around with him on a night like tonight?
Yes, it's unreal, to be honest. He's been doing it for 7 years, but or more. But yeah, he's so reliable for us. As soon as the ball hits the deck, he's going to be first onto it. He's so clean. He gets his teammates involved. Leaves his ego at the door and just gets to work for us. So obviously a great mate of mine, but more importantly tonight, he's been a terrific player for us. So a massive part of why we got the win.
Can you run us through your mindset in that last couple of minutes? Obviously, Tom Lynch having a shot up the other end of the ground. What's going through your mind as a player? Obviously, the crowd's well and truly involved by then, absolutely deafening. What's going through your head?
Look, to be honest, my mind was that far out. These blokes just keep coming. You look at Jack Riewoldt, takes a mark on the 50 arc, goes back, slots it. A couple of minutes later, goes back and does it again. I just think, shit. It's going to be tough from here. They're pulling them out from everywhere. So, and then Big Lynchy's juking them as well. So, if Lynchy's not putting them through, then Riewoldt's putting them through from anywhere. And I was just so stoked that we were able to dig in and get the job done in the end. And our big boys were amazing. They're really damaging forwards, and they did a great job.
No doubt you take a great deal of confidence from that, and don't worry about getting that balance wrong at all, mate. No one's ever won a car from going front and centre.
No, that's right. Did you win one, Daisy? I reckon you have.
I didn't actually win one. They changed it back to a tally, but I got a house full of one.
Hey, Lincoln, that's sensational. What a ripping game you're a part of. You're a cool head in a crisis that was so important out there tonight. Well played for you and your mates.
Thanks, guys. Nice chatting.
Lincoln McCarthy down in the Brisbane rooms. He is a cool head in a crisis, and he was involved in a couple of magic moments, as a lot of players were tonight. And geez, that was just a game. I mean, it's a cliche, I know, Flanners, you say. It's a game of inches, but it really was tonight.
You just got to love the honesty of the bloke, too. Just going, they just won't lay down. We've given them everything, and they're coming. And not only are they coming, they're kicking them out of their backside.
Daisy, I don't think we've heard the last of that score review. You mentioned it just before the break there. We just saw some shots, courtesy of Channel 7, of the reactions of various players as the siren went. Jack Riewoldt had a very strong word to one of the field umpires, pointing back at the post and saying that wasn't a point. So you wonder how much that, and it's null and void because the result's in the camp, but you wonder how much that's going to get broken down over the next few days.
I'd love for them to go straight to Tom Lynch, who is, at times, he can be a little bit dirty and a little bit shirty, but he would be one of the fairest players going out there, and he would tell you straight away whether he thought that was a goal or a point. And still from here, we're 100 metres away. Often in those situations, as a broadcaster, you watch the reaction of the player. He didn't celebrate whatsoever. That would have been a massive moment in the game for him to have the finger up at the end where the Tiger Army was. He would have gone absolutely bunter. I've got no problems with it, but no doubt, as we do in this industry, we'll dissect it and talk the absolute living bejeebers out of it.
Righto, Ethan Meldrum, let's straighten up a little bit. The stats at the end of this with a 2-point win to Brisbane over Richmond. It was 16-10, 106 to 16-8, 104. The big numbers from you.
Well, as we pointed out earlier, 17 lead changes for the game, just 2 off the record that I can find, 19 back in 2010. But it was Brisbane ended up getting the edge around the ball and around the clearances. They were plus 21 ground ball gets, plus 18 loose ball gets. Clearances around the ground, 35 to 22 in their favour. 5 goals from centre bounce so far tonight for the Lions. Dominated in that department. That's where they ended up getting the edge in the game. And it was led by Lachie Neale. 39 disposals, 21 of those contested. 15 clearances tonight for Lachie Neale. Only 2 players have ever had more in a final. Brett Ratton, 1999 grand final. Josh Kennedy, 2011 semi-final. 18 ground ball gets as well. Only 1 player's had more than that in the final as well. That was Lachie Neale in the qualifying final last year when he had 46, 23 ground ball gets in that game. So he was the number 1 ranked player on the ground by a mile in the end. Hugh McCluggage, 26 touches and a goal. Bailey, 24 and a goal. McStay, 23 disposals, career high, and a goal for him as well. For the Tigers, Toby Nankervis, 26 disposals, 41 hit-outs, as Blackie was saying, dominated the hit-outs tonight, 9 clearances as well. Marlon Pickett, 23 touches. He was Richmond's number 1 ranked player in the final term. Jack Ross, 23 disposals as well.
Great work, Heath. You dominated tonight. There's no doubt about that. You were sensational. Choice hotels around the grounds, of course. Tomorrow night, we've got the full Huddle team assembling. Howie and the boys will absolutely smash the Huddle before the game, and we've got a big one.
Yeah, we certainly do. Melbourne v Sydney, big game, that one. Winner goes straight to a home prelim. Loser, of course, now will play Brisbane, you'd think, on Friday night next week.
All right, join Flanners, me and Blackie and Days and Heath. We're going to head to McDonald's with Belinda and score a 1 in 4 chance to win the Monopoly game at Macca's. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au. When we sign off tonight, you'll hear the last couple of minutes on what was an absolutely sensational game of footy, a finals classic, and what a way to kick off finals 2022. Over 35,000 crammed in here tonight at the Gabba, Blackie, a place where you dominated over many, many years. Don't have to say anything on that, just nod your head as you do. But that was just a ripping game. Well played from you.
Thanks. Great to call with you guys. That's an absolute treat to be here tonight, and what an occasion.
And Daisy, when he travels, always something special happens, and it happened tonight, Daisy.
Yeah, well, that's just it, Baz. No, well done to all. What an absolute cracking game of footy we just witnessed.
Flanners, that was one of the great calls from you. Don't be humble
Baz.
about it. It really was. Ethan, well played from you. And Belinda on the boundary line was fantastic as well. We thank all our crew who've looked after us in the box here. There's Big Jack looking at me. And they're all just sort of going, yeah, I did all right. Leroy's back in the Triple M studio. We're going to sign off tonight, and you can hear the last couple of minutes of what was a magic elimination final, which the Lions won by 2 points. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks finals footy. This is amazing. Finals footy at its best. Punched out, hand pass back to Coleman. A kick inside 450. Bailey's got it. He's marked on 48 out, and he's on the boundary line.
That's where you are. A minute 20 left.
1:20 on the clock.
It's going to take a super kick, Baz, right near the junction.
This kid is just so talented. Called the play on. Wheels around, it's touched. It'll land in the square. Tigers will win. Big Joe! Big Joe's put it through! And now he's got a smile. The Lions have hit the front.
Tigers must go. Clock counting. 15 seconds, Baz.
Kicks across half back. McIntosh's mark. How many now, Flanners?
9.
He's in the back pocket. Brisbane are going to hang on.
5.
He's kicked across half back. It's marked by Boulder. Kick outside. The clock continues to tick down. Brisbane have done it. Brisbane have done it.
The Triple M Footy Review for Amy. Who covers clangers? Amy does. Lucky you're with Amy.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
The first time in AFL's history the grand final won't be played at the MCG.
We'll host the grand final here at the Gabba.
For 2021, the grand final will be played in Perth.
This will be a marvellous, incredible event for Western Australia.
To all Victorians, we will be back at the MCG, bigger and better in 2022.
Memories that hold a place.
Back playing footy.
Look at the atmosphere.
Here we go. This place is starting to erupt. Unbelievable scenes. The finals are coming home. The Coliseum is ready to go. Full to the rafters. And Triple M Footy brings you every massive moment.
Triple M rocks finals footy. 'Cause I am back where I belong.
The MCG.
Join the Temper Mattress call team tomorrow from 6 for Melbourne and Sydney.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks finals footy. Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman. Save up to $600 on selected Miele laundry packs, like the perfectly paired Miele 8 kilo front loader and 8 kilo heat pump dryer, now $3,798. Bonus $200 cash back on Samsung pack. Huge 12 kilo washer and 8 kilo dryer, just $2,694. Receive up to a bonus $200 gift card on selected laundry packs from all the big brands: LG, Fisher & Paykel, Electrolux, Westinghouse, Hisense, Haier and Ariston. Cash back by redemption. Update your laundry now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
Hello.